This page features the cover of Famitsu Weekly, highlighting several key games and a major special feature. The main title declares it's a scoop on Chocobo's Dungeon, a new RPG from Square. The cover art itself is lively, showing the Famitsu mascot and several cartoonish figures deeply immersed in gaming, with one clutching a PlayStation controller, reflecting the gaming focus of the magazine. Another emergency scoop is announced for Mobile Suit Gundam, Giran's Greed. The cover also notes the popular ongoing serialization related to Final Fantasy Tactics. There's a mention of Derby Stallion, suggesting its continued popularity and perhaps deep play among the staff or readers. The prominent special feature explores the Japanese game industry from a global perspective, posing questions about past pivotal moments and how different decisions might have altered its course. Overall, the cover sets the stage for a magazine packed with previews, ongoing coverage of popular titles, and a deep dive into the history and potential future of the Japanese gaming landscape. This page features a prominent advertisement for Psychic Force Puzzle War, Psychic Force Puzzle Taisen, a PlayStation puzzle game spin-off of the popular Psychic Force fighting series. The main image showcases two central characters from the fighting game, Burn Griffith and Sonya, against a nighttime cityscape backdrop. The text highlights that this game brings the superpowered characters from the smash hit Psychic Force into the highly addictive world of Puzzle Bobble, Boost-A-Move, promising a new kind of battle. It mentions 3 game modes: 1P mode, 2P versus mode, and a scenario mode. The ad also notes that the original theme and ending songs are by the well-known Hironobu Kageyama, and the opening anime and demo screens were directed by Hiroshi Takeuchi, known for his work on the main Psychic Force game. Release is scheduled for October 2nd, priced at 5,800 yen. The bottom section briefly mentions the Tokyo Game Show '97 and showcases a PlayStation lineup feature, with small screenshots and prices for other Taito titles available on the console, including Space Invaders, Arkanoid Returns, and the original Psychic Force. This page features a prominent advertisement for the PlayStation game Magical Date, Doki Doki Kokuhaku Daisakusen. This appears to be a unique blend of dating simulation and minigames, where players aim to win the affection of one of 3 beautiful, 3 gendered girls. The gameplay promises to liven up dates through various minigames and events, set across different seasons, from beach dates in summer to skiing in winter. There's even a competitive 2-player mode, where friends can vie for the same girl. The ultimate goal seems to be a heart-pounding confession during the Christmas party. The game was scheduled for release on November 20th. At the bottom of the page, there's a showcase of other PlayStation titles from Taito, demonstrating their diverse lineup on the console. This includes shooters like Raystorm, puzzle games like Puzzle Bobble 2, known internationally as Bust-A-Move 2, fighting games such as Fighters Impact, sports titles like Super Football Champ and Champion Wrestler, and even arcade ports or compilations like Time Gal and Ninja Hayate. They also list a movie novel game Tokyo Shadow and a racing game, Ray Tracer. These snippets give a good overview of Taito's presence on the PlayStation platform at the time. This page features an advertisement for the PlayStation game Boxing King by Electronic Arts. The page showcases the game with a large, stylized 3D character model of a boxer wearing a headguard and gloves, alongside a smaller model of a different character, possibly a trainer or manager. The prominent vertical text proclaims this is the place to hone the strongest fists. The accompanying smaller text describes the game's atmosphere as being dominated by intense air, filled with rookie boxers brimming with fighting spirit, and trainers pushing them towards the world summit. 3 screenshots at the bottom highlight key aspects of the gameplay. One is labeled Training, showing a boxer in a gym environment, suggesting players will develop their fighter through rigorous practice. Another is Combat, depicting a boxing match in progress, emphasizing dodging opponent attacks and landing powerful blows. The third is Match, illustrating the ability to pit fighters against each other, including dream matches savable via memory card. The overall presentation emphasizes the journey from rookie to champion through dedicated training and intense ring battles in this stylized boxing simulation. The ad confirms the game was scheduled for PlayStation with a copyright dated 1997. This page features an advertisement for the PlayStation game Hard Blow, a boxing simulation from Electronic Arts Victor. Unlike the previous page's more realistic portrayal, this game features highly caricatured, almost bobblehead-style boxers and characters, represented by a large, fiery figure above the title logo. The game is priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax. A key highlight is that Hard Blow is advertised as a convenience store exclusive product, available now and well received. The page promotes a lottery campaign, where purchasers can win an original Deca towel featuring the game's logo, with the deadline for entry being August 31, 1997. An image shows two women holding one of these large towels. Another image depicts the game's unique, caricatured boxers squaring off in the ring. The ad also mentions that the game can be purchased via mail order with a reduced shipping fee and lists participating convenience store logos, including 7-Eleven, Family Mart, and others, reinforcing the unique retail strategy. This page features an advertisement for the snowboarding game Steep Slope Sliders. Heading to the Sega Saturn, the layout presents numerous action-packed screenshots showcasing realistic snowboarding on mountain terrains, with riders performing various jumps and tricks, all centered around a striking red snowboard featuring a large, stylized S logo. The game promises a rich snowboarding experience with a wide variety of tricks, challenging halfpipe, and extreme courses focused on speed and skill. A standout feature is the time progress system, which dynamically changes the look of the stages depending on the console's internal time, creating different morning, evening, and night environments. Players can carve through diverse slopes located in international spots like Italy, Australia, Canada, and New Zealand, as well as various locations within Japan, choosing from a roster of 8 unique riders suited to different styles and courses. The game also includes competitive elements, with ghost data support and a replay mode offering multiple camera perspectives to relive your best runs. Steep Slope Sliders was slated for an October 23 release, priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax. This page is the contents page for the May 9, 1997 issue of Weekly Famitsu magazine. At the top there's a lively illustration featuring several characters, hinting at the adventurous spirit often found in games of the era. To the right, this week's nice shot showcases a peaceful farm scene from the popular simulation game Derby Stallion. The cover story delves into the state of the game industry, asking, "What happened to the game industry at that time?" and exploring the topic from a broader societal perspective. A major highlight is a special project announcing 2 significant new titles from Square: Chocobo's Mysterious Dungeon and the highly anticipated Xenogears, offering early details for excited fans. Other featured articles include an urgent report on Mobile Suit Gundam, Garen's Ambition, providing the latest news on the strategy game. There's also a complete strategy guide for the game Virus, helping players master its fundamental mechanics. Another special project looks at the path to becoming a super gamer, likely offering tips and insights for dedicated players. Finally, an urgent report introduces the basic system of Formula 1 Foot 97. The page also lists various regular columns covering news, reviews, charts like the Famitsu Top 30, and special features, along with sections for comics and columns. A comprehensive game index lists all the titles featured or reviewed in this issue, providing a quick reference for readers to find coverage on games they are interested in. This page focuses on the booming popularity of special order and promotional game-related merchandise. It highlights how companies are partnering with game publishers and hardware manufacturers to create exclusive items that fans are clamoring for. The article showcases several examples of these sought-after goods. We see special edition Game Boy systems, including an unoriginal color skeleton blue Game Boy Pocket and a skeleton Game Boy Pocket. There's also mention of a unique, light Game Boy which appears to be a custom version that shines brightly. The classic Game Boy's enduring appeal is clear here. Beyond hardware, the page features promotional items for popular software like Pokemon Blue, showing its cartridge and a small associated item. There are also items from airline partnerships, like a JAL Original Tamagotchi and a JAL Original Digimon, demonstrating how games are crossing over into various industries for promotions. Accessories are also featured, such as transparent Nintendo 64 controllers from Hudson and a cool pad for the Saturn controller, often given as bonuses with game purchases. A list briefly details some of these items and how they were obtained, through magazine reader exclusives, airline mileage programs, competition prizes, or purchase campaigns. It underscores that these weren't easily available retail items, but exclusive rewards, fueling their desirability. The article suggests that game-related merchandise, especially these limited edition items, is incredibly popular right now. This page reports on several interesting developments in the Japanese gaming world. Firstly, it covers the production announcement event for Overblood 2, which was held in Fukuoka. The event featured the game's developers from Riverhill Soft and included a commemorative party. The focus was on how the game aims to provide players with excitement and emotional engagement. Next, the page addresses the ongoing issue of pre-owned software. It discusses a meeting between industry associations, arts, and SESA to tackle this problem. A potential nationwide campaign against pre-owned software is being considered, though the article notes the legal and practical challenges involved in enforcement. It highlights the industry's effort to find a solution. Finally, there's a fascinating look at a new concept: mobile game shops. These customized vehicles, like the Media Box, are essentially game stores on wheels. They stock games for various platforms, including Saturn and Nintendo 64, and even sell pre-owned titles. The idea is to bring the game shopping experience to areas that might not have traditional retail stores, and the article wonders if this trend will spread across the country. This page covers several events and announcements within the Japanese gaming scene. It reports on an exhibition centered around the world of Enemy Zero, highlighting the event as one stimulating both sight and sound. The exhibition showcased artistic interpretations of the game's universe by various creators, aiming to provide a unique experience for attendees. The page also details an event for the series Chousoku Great Doll, which appears to be an original video animation and potentially a related game. A large gathering of 1,000 fans from all over Japan attended the event, which included a talk show and a screening of the animation. Furthermore, Capcom is introducing a new service called Capcom Concierge, which includes a credit card feature. This card, seemingly linked to their fan club, provides credit functionality and is described as a convenient tool for fans. Finally, a small section mentions a campaign by Japanese airlines offering prizes, highlighting a large figure related to the campaign's scale. This page features a prominent interview with actress and idol Megumi Okina under the captivating title, "Please Experience the Feeling of Dating Me." She discusses her thoughts on dating and acting, specifically highlighting her role in the Sega Saturn dating simulation game, Summer Fantasy Miyazaki Sigaya. The article touches upon the unique challenges of acting for a game where she couldn't see her co-stars, contrasting it with her experiences in dramas and films. She also shares her perspective on gaming itself. A profile section provides details about her career. The bottom of the page introduces a new segment called Famitsu CM Watch, focusing on notable game commercials. The first volume features the CM for Fighting Illusion, Ek 1 Revenge. The article describes the commercial, notably highlighting Ek 1 fighter Mike Bernardo's unexpected appearance eating ramen before delivering a powerful knockout, alongside screenshots from the game and the commercial itself. This page dives headfirst into the upcoming Tokyo Game Show 97 Autumn, presented with palpable excitement. It highlights the massive scale of the event, promising a fierce dash of gaming goodness. The article notes that nearly 400 titles from over 100 exhibitors are planned for attendees to experience. Hotly anticipated software is featured prominently, with specific callouts to Square's innovative Chocobo's Dungeon and Sega Saturn's popular Sakura Wars 2. The page also showcases action-packed screenshots, including what appears to be Tekken 3 and Soul Blade, giving a taste of the intense gameplay on display. A large section is dedicated to listing the main exhibited software, providing a comprehensive look at what players can expect. This list covers a wide range of titles from numerous developers across major platforms of the era, including PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Neo Geo. It's clear the show is packed with diverse genres and big-name releases. This page delves into the exciting events planned for the Tokyo Game Show 97 Autumn, promising that attendees will get a chance to see such people doing such things. Beyond just showcasing software, the show is packed with unique happenings. Highlights include a game industry senior meeting and a creators conference, featuring industry figures like game analyst Hiroyuki Kawashima and Ichiro Miyazaki. These sessions offer behind-the-scenes stories and insights into the world of game development. Another interesting event is the Treasure Appraisers, where attendees could bring in their game-related goods to be appraised, with Itsushi Imaizumi hosting the segment. The page also details performance events like The Truth of Naru in Makuhari Messe, which features popular voice actors Shizuka Kudo and Tomoko Kawakami, likely part of an anime or voice acting focused show like the Super Anime Top 10 Hit Parade. Other events mentioned include Tekken 2 and airline focus sessions. Finally, the page promotes a giveaway where 200 attendees could receive a large poster. The striking artwork on the poster is clearly visible, depicting characters from the PlayStation RPG Legend of Dragoon. It's a great piece for fans to get their hands on. The show wasn't just about playing games. It was a full experience with talks, performances, and even a chance to get your gaming treasures valued. This page presents a collection of gaming information and promotional giveaways for various titles. First up is the Everybody's Golf Summer Open event hosted by Sony Computer Entertainment. Players could participate in a tournament and short course challenge at the Ginza Sony building for a chance to win a trip to Hawaii. Next, there's a promotion for Square's Front Mission Alternative, offering original goods like a t-shirt to lucky fans. Full-Op is giving away special music boxes for their unique sound novel game, Real Sound, Regret of the Wind. The music box plays the game's main theme. Idea Factory's upcoming strategy RPG, Spectral Force, is running a pre-order campaign where customers could get a jigsaw puzzle featuring character artwork by Shinosuke Hino. There was also a separate chance to win the puzzle through a magazine entry. Finally, Bandai Card Das is introducing a new series based on the popular Sakura Wars franchise, available in amusement centers. Fans could collect all 44 cards or enter a giveaway to win a complete set. Most of these promotions involved sending entries referenced from the September 5th issue of Famitsu, with a common deadline around the end of August. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game, Blue Breaker. It's described as a romance RPG and features a large illustration of the main cast, highlighting the protagonist and several female characters. The text emphasizes the themes of adventure and finding love through encounters, with a slogan translating to "More than swords, a smile." The ad promotes the game as a mega-hit romance RPG, releasing on Sega Saturn this autumn, specifically on September 25th, and mentions an initial luxury bonus included with early purchases. The publisher is listed as Human Entertainment. This page presents the weekly Famitsu Top 30 Game Rankings, highlighting the top 5 titles. At the very top it mentions that Sega Saturn's Last Bronx and Langrisser IV are doing well, but Derby Stallion has held the #1 spot for 3 consecutive weeks. Min and No Golf also remains strong. The rankings are clearly laid out with large numbers indicating the position. At number 1 is Derby Stallion for PlayStation and Saturn, a simulation game focused on horse racing and breeding. The text notes its strong performance in the charts. Coming in at number 2 is Last Bronx for the Saturn. This is a 3D fighting game, and the description mentions defeating the boss Red Eye and the appearance of the character Gray. Third place goes to Langrisser IV on the Saturn, a tactical simulation RPG. The text points out the presence of hidden items on the maps and advises players to search thoroughly. Number 4 is Minna No Golf, known internationally as Everybody's Golf, on PlayStation. This golf game's description includes a note about a tricky corner near the green and a comparison of the character's appearance to one from a golf manga. Rounding out the top 5 is Rockman X4, or Mega Man X4, for both PlayStation and Saturn. This action platformer section discusses obtaining power-up parts like the body armor, and mentions specific items needed to break obstacles. This page continues the weekly Famitsu Top 30 rankings, picking up from number 6 through 30. This section includes a diverse mix of titles across various platforms. Noteworthy games appearing here include the original Pokémon on Game Boy, Mobile Suit Gundam Perfect 1 Year War, and Saga Frontier on PlayStation. We also see Monster Rancher, Resident Evil for the Saturn, Final Fantasy Tactics, Armored Core, and Time Crisis, with the GunCon controller rounding out some of the higher spots. Below the rankings is a section featuring reader comments. Fans share their thoughts on recent gaming experiences. One reader enjoyed the Saturn version of Resident Evil. Another commented on King of Fighters 97, specifically mentioning difficulty with a certain character. Other comments touch on playing games like Sakura Taisen, and even mention specific controllers like the Coolpad. These personal anecdotes offer a glimpse into what players were enjoying and discussing at the time. The magazine's anticipated new releases Top 30 list for July 31st to August 6th highlights games readers are most excited to play. Dragon Quest V2 PlayStation tops the list, followed by Sakura Wars 2, Thou Shalt Not Die, Saturn, and Super Robot Wars F, Saturn. Resident Evil 2 PlayStation and the tentative Tokimeki Memorial 2 PlayStation round out the top 5. The list spans various platforms like PlayStation, Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy. Other anticipated titles include Parasite Eve, Grandia, Pocket Monsters 2 Pokemon, Tekken 3, Sentimental Graffiti, Front Mission 2, Virtua Fighter 3, RPG Maker 3, Devil Summoner, Soul Hackers, and The Legend of Zelda 64. This diverse selection showcases the breadth of anticipated games across different genres and platforms. This page presents various top 10 and top 20 lists, reflecting player popularity and sales data. The main feature is the Reader's Choice Top 20 for software. There's little movement at the very top, with Sakura Wars, Final Fantasy V2, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Derby Stallion holding strong positions, indicating their continued immense popularity. Saga Frontier also remains a fan favorite. The list includes other hits like Tokimeki Memorial, Resident Evil, and Pokémon, showing the diverse tastes of readers. The accompanying text notes that 2 new titles have entered the rankings this week. Below that, the video game's top 10 showcases popular arcade titles. Fighting games dominate, with Virtua Fighter 3 and Tekken 3 leading the pack. Other notable entries include Vampire Savior, Virtua Striker 2, and Cyber Troopers Virtualon. The commentary highlights 2 new fighting games joining the list, suitable for both solo and team play. Finally, the USA Top 10 lists software performance overseas. Star Fox 64 takes the #1 spot this week. The text points out the rapidly shifting nature of the overseas rankings, questioning if Star Fox 64 can maintain its position. The list features a mix of genres, including sports titles like Major League Baseball 98 and World Series Baseball 98, RPGs like Shining the Holy Ark and Wild Arms, and action games like Syndicate Wars and Dynasty Warriors. This page features the upcoming Sega Saturn exclusive, Kochikame Nakagawa Land Grand Race, scheduled for release on August 29, 1997, with a provisional price of 6,800 yen. This isn't your typical board game. Based on the incredibly popular Kochikame series, it promises a chaotic, anything-goes experience. Players take control of beloved characters like Ryo-san, Raiko, and Nakagawa, moving freely across a detailed 3D board representing Nakagawa Land. The game emphasizes strategic movement, utilizing skills and items, and even allows for a bit of cheating to gain an advantage in the grand race. The screenshots display the vibrant 3D environments and character models on the map, highlighting interactive elements within the themed areas of Nakagawa Land. This page provides an urgent report on the upcoming Sega Saturn simulation game, Mobile Suit Gundam: Giran's Ambition. Based on the rich side stories that have emerged since the original Mobile Suit Gundam anime, this title aims to comprehensively recreate the pivotal one-year war. Players dive deep into the conflict, taking command of either the Earth Federation forces or the Principality of Zeon. The game is presented as a simulation that covers the strategic nuances of the war from a global perspective. Beyond tactical battles shown in the screenshots, players are responsible for grand strategy, including production, mobile suit development, personnel management, and carrying out crucial operations like Operation Odessa or Operation Jaburo. The focus is on experiencing the war through the eyes of the chosen faction, influencing history through strategic choices. A significant highlight is the inclusion of numerous animated movie events. The article promises these scenes, based on moments from the original series and side stories, will vividly bring the war to life, making the player's decisions feel impactful. Screenshots showcase the tactical map interface, ground combat sequences featuring mobile suits, and expressive anime cutscenes featuring characters like Amuro Ray, capturing key dramatic moments. The game aims to offer a thorough and event-rich simulation of the one-year war. Mobile Suit Gundam: Giran's Ambition is a turn-based strategy game where players command either the Earth Federation or the Principality of Zeon. Players issue commands before combat, offering a strategy mode for beginners that automates battles, focusing on global strategy. This mode allows management of operations, personnel, research, and development. For advanced players, the game features detailed commands for individual units, including movement, attack, reconnaissance, and transport. Strategic base management and special commands, like scattering Minovsky particles and unit-specific abilities, add depth. The game boasts a large cast of characters from the original Gundam series and the One-Year War, including iconic pilots and officers, each potentially influencing gameplay through skills and events. The next section will detail the battle system. Quote, "This page details the combat system and units featured in Mobile Suit Gundam: Giran's Ambition." It follows on from the previous page's explanation of the strategy layer, now showing how battles actually unfold. The page breaks down the battle flow into 4 phases. First, the phase ends after units are moved. Second, terrain is displayed. Third, long-range combat occurs. And finally, remaining units engage in close-quarters combat. Screenshots illustrate each step, showing strategic maps transitioning to 3D battle scenes, with units like Zaku's and gun cannons exchanging fire. The game renders realistic mobile suits and mobile armors for these battles. A section focuses on the mobile armor Big Zam, highlighting its devastating mega particle cannon and its role as a single unit forming a whole army. Another large section showcases the wide array of mobile suits and mobile armors that appear, covering the entire one-year war. It mentions iconic units piloted by famous characters such as Charaznoble's Zaku 2, Ramba Ral's Goof, Dazzlezabi's Big Zam, and characters like Christina McKenzie and Shiro Amada with their respective units. The article emphasizes that even less common units like the prototype Gundam and fan favorites like Johnny Ridden's Gelgoog and Shin Matsunaga's Zaku 2 are included. Screenshots display various units like Zaku's, gun cannons, GMS, and Gyan engaging in combat, showing off the detailed 3D models and environments. The sheer volume of units confirmed promises a comprehensive representation of the one-year war conflict. This page reveals a major scoop from Square, a brand new game titled Chocobo's Dungeon. This isn't just another spin-off. It's a collaboration with Chunsoft, the masters behind the Mystery Dungeon series. As expected, the game is a roguelike featuring the beloved Chocobo as the main protagonist, venturing into challenging, procedurally generated dungeons. Screenshots show the classic roguelike top-down perspective in the dungeon, complete with Yusa displaying vital stats like floor level, HP, and status percentage. You'll navigate square tiles, encounter monsters, and uncover the dungeon layout via an overhead map. The page introduces key characters joining Chocobo on this adventure, confirming the familiar Mog as a partner. It also showcases some classic Final Fantasy enemies making an appearance, including the fiery bomb and the sturdy golem, here rendered in a charming, slightly deformed style fitting the game's aesthetic. Scheduled for a winter 1997 release on the PlayStation, Chocobo's Dungeon promises to blend the rich universe and characters of Final Fantasy with the deep, strategic gameplay mechanics of the Mystery Dungeon series, a combination longtime fans of both should be excited about. This page reveals a major update on Square's new collaboration with Chunsoft, Chocobo's Dungeon. Contrary to previous information, the game has shifted from a classic top-down view to a dynamic, diagonal overhead perspective. The screenshots showcase this new look, presenting the dungeons in full 3D, allowing players to see the environment from a more immersive angle. You'll explore intricate rooms and winding corridors, with the familiar Chocobo navigating the grid-based floors. The UI clearly displays essential stats like floor level and HP, keeping the core roguelike mechanics intact. The page highlights key dungeon elements players will encounter. Beyond fighting monsters, you'll interact with the environment, checking shelves for items, and navigating treacherous traps like pitfalls. The shift to 3Ds seems to add a new dimension to the exploration and the surprises that lie within the dungeon, promising plenty of secrets and dangers, typical of the Mystery Dungeon series. It looks like a charming yet challenging adventure awaits. The next page dives deeper into the gameplay mechanics of Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. Following the reveal of the new 3D perspective, this page details how Chocobo interacts within these environments. As many know from the Mystery Dungeon series, combat is turn-based on a grid, and Chocobo primarily attacks by kicking. Beyond physical attacks, Chocobo can also use magic, triggered by reading books found in the dungeon. The page shows a screenshot of Chocobo casting a powerful lightning spell after reading a book, confirming magic books are a key part of its arsenal, similar to spells in other Final Fantasy titles. The dungeons themselves are packed with items, a staple of the genre. While specific item names aren't always clear, screenshots suggest familiar items like potions, essential for recovery. A significant addition highlighted is equipment. Chocobo isn't just exploring. It can find and equip items like hats and shoes. These items change Chocobo's appearance, adding a layer of customization and undoubtedly affecting its stats or granting special abilities, making item hunting even more exciting. The page confirms that these dungeons will present plenty of variety in items, keeping the adventure fresh. This page brings exciting news for fans of Final Fantasy summons, as Shiva is revealed to be appearing in Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon. As you can see in the screenshots, the iconic ice summon is fully rendered in 3D and looks fantastic, unleashing her signature attack. The text highlights Shiva's debut and describes her powerful ice spell, which targets a wide area, promising significant damage to enemies. Below the summon reveal is a section titled Ask About Chocobo's Mystery Dungeon, where the developers answer questions about the game. Topics covered include details about the dungeon structure and how navigating with the map works, confirming the presence of the Chocobo Ranger job class, discussing the difficulty and tension of exploring the dungeons, and mentioning other familiar summons, like Ramu, alongside Shiva. They also touch upon finding treasure chests within the dungeons and the importance of taking rests, perhaps at an oasis location shown in one of the smaller screenshots. It seems the game is shaping up to be a classic mystery dungeon experience, with a charming Final Fantasy twist, incorporating well-loved elements like summons and job classes. This page unveils Square's highly anticipated new RPG, Xenogears, hot off the heels of their success with the Final Fantasy series. Featured prominently is a battle screenshot showcasing the game's combat system. The text confirms its release on the PlayStation, scheduled for 1997. A significant highlight is the exploration of the game's world map and field screen. Screenshots demonstrate the environment from different angles, emphasizing a key feature: the ability to freely rotate the camera a full 360 degrees, allowing players to view the world from any perspective. This section also hints at dungeon exploration and the thrill of discovering hidden treasures. Other screenshots reveal diverse locations, including indoor or dungeon environments, with a distinct sci-fi feel, hinting at the game's unique aesthetic blend. Finally, the page introduces the main protagonists: Fie, the quiet protagonist who travels from Lahan village, and Ellie, the heroine characterized by her gentle expression. The text notes that players will encounter many interesting characters and enjoy their interactions. This page of the Xenogears guide details the game's battle and gear mechanics. The turn-based battle system, similar to Final Fantasy's ATB, uses a time gauge for strategic real-time combat. Players will input commands for skills, magic, and physical attacks. The introduction of gears, the game's mechs, is a central focus. These powerful robots are tied to the main characters, like Faye and Ellie, and are customizable. They grow alongside the characters and can perform a variety of attacks, including skills and magic. The page highlights the scale of gear combat, showcasing them battling various enemies. The narrative reveals that enemies will also utilize gears, promising epic battles. This page is a dynamic advertisement for the original Armored Core on the PlayStation. It features a chaotic collage of screenshots depicting intense mech combat, highlighting the game's core gameplay. Prominently displayed in large characters is Haie, which translates to versus or battle, emphasizing the game's player versus player mode. Text below the main title promotes the ability to aim to be the strongest raven in battle in versus mode, and boasts that, with over 10 billion ways to edit parts, your original machine will be complete. This immediately conveys the game's focus on both competitive play and unparalleled mech customization, defining features of the Armored Core series. It's described as a high-speed combat mech simulator. Screenshots showcase diverse environments and various mech designs engaging in combat, along with UN elements and game states like ready, go, and lose. The page confirms the game is now on sale with pricing information. From Software, the developer, is clearly indicated at the bottom. There's also mention of a fax service for receiving the latest game information, a unique communication method from that era. This page effectively captures the fast-paced, customizable mech action that makes Armored Core a legendary title for the PlayStation. This page features the new Game Cross Review section, covering games released between August 25th and 31st. 4 reviewers, Hamamura Tsushin, Ninja Masuda, Watanabe Miki, and Haneda Takayuki, provide their thoughts on 3 new titles. First up is GoldenEye 007 for Nintendo 64. Reviewers praise the game's impressive 3D shooting action and multiplayer mode, noting its high quality and depth as a first-person shooter on the system. The gameplay is described as fundamental and well-tuned. Next is Shinsenki Vangale on PlayStation. This appears to be a robotic action game. Reviewers comment on the fast-paced combat and focus on shooting and melee. The story and visuals are also discussed, noting changes in scenery and the overall presentation. Finally, there's Elf wo Karu Monotachi Hanafuda Hen, a Hanafuda card game based on the popular Those Who Hunt Elves series, also for PlayStation. The game features characters from the anime/manga. Reviews focus on the card game aspect itself, the presentation, and the appeal to fans of the series. The bottom of the page briefly mentions one other game released during this period, Grand Load Arms on PlayStation. This page features the new Game Cross Review section, continuing to cover new game releases. First up is Cool Borders 2 on PlayStation. Reviewers found it a strong sequel, praising the improved graphics and enhanced trick system. The game's speed and controls were highlighted as positives, making it feel like a significant upgrade from the previous title. Next is Primal Rage, as part of the Arcade Gears series for PlayStation. This fighting game pits giant monsters against each other. Critics commented on the arcade port's quality, the unique prehistoric setting, and the graphics, though some wondered how it stacked up against contemporary fighting games. Following that is Twisted Metal X on PlayStation. Described as a chaotic vehicular combat game, reviewers noted its Hollywood-style action and intense shooting gameplay. The distinct, sometimes wild tone of the game was mentioned, characteristic of the series. Then there's Gradius Gaiden for PlayStation, and a new installment in the classic Shoot 'em Up series. It was well received for maintaining the core Gradius formula with its power-up system, while introducing new stages and bosses. Reviewers found it a solid and enjoyable addition to the long-running franchise. Finally, the page covers JIKU Powerful Pro Yaku 97 Kaimakuban, likely Power Pro Baseball 97 Opening Edition, on PlayStation. As expected from the series, reviewers lauded the deep baseball simulation and updated player data. The signature Chiba-style graphics were present, and the gameplay offered a realistic experience covering all aspects of baseball. The next page continues the new game cross-review section, featuring a diverse lineup of titles across PlayStation and Sega Saturn. Kicking off is MechWarrior 2 on PlayStation, a port of the acclaimed PC simulation. Reviewers were impressed by the smooth transition to console, praising the 3D graphics and controls that capture the feel of piloting a large mech in intense combat. The campaign missions offer a deep experience. Next is Yukyu Genso Kyoku, Eternal Fantasy, on PlayStation, a simulation game focused on interacting with various characters. Critics highlighted the appealing character designs and the intricate system for building relationships, noting the abundance of content and events. We then have Ico no St. Andrews, Glory of St. Andrews, for PlayStation, a golf simulation. Reviewers commended the realistic depiction of the St. Andrews course and the accurate physics, finding the game a challenging yet rewarding experience for golf fans. Moving to Sega Saturn, there's Puru-Rura, part of the Arcade Gears series, likely an arcade port of the puzzle game Poochie Carrot. Described as a simple and fun action puzzle title, reviewers appreciated its accessible gameplay and character designs. Finally, Finalist on Sega Saturn is reviewed. This is a 3D shooting game praised for its fast pace and arcade feel. Critics noted its speed and excitement, though some pointed out the challenging difficulty. Overall, this page covers a range of genres, from mech simulation and character-driven adventure, to realistic sports and fast-paced arcade action. This page features the best picks of this week section, highlighting 4 notable game releases across different platforms. First up is Dark Seed for the Saturn, a port of the classic point-and-click horror adventure game. Known for its unique blend of live-action and H.R. Geiger-inspired visuals, it offers a dark, atmospheric experience with challenging puzzles. Next is Wizap, Struggle of the Magi, a 2D action platformer also on the Saturn. This game focuses on stage-clearing action, where strategic use of various items is key to progressing and overcoming obstacles. It's described as an enjoyable action title. For Super Famicom players, there's Parlor Mini 7, Pachinko Experiment Simulation Game. As the name suggests, it's a detailed simulation of various pachinko machines, offering a realistic experience for fans of the popular Japanese game. Finally, we have Money Idol Exchanger on the Game Boy. This is a fast-paced puzzle game with simple rules involving combining numbered blocks, but it offers surprising strategic depth and competitive fun. The Best Picks summary notes that this week's releases cover a good range of genres. It specifically calls out Money Idol Exchanger and Wizap as strong recommendations, while also mentioning Dark Seed for its distinctive style. Overall, it seems to have been a solid week for new game releases. This page features an article titled, "The Difference Between Baseball and Baseball Games, I Just Realized It Now," an insightful reflection on the unique experiences offered by both real-life baseball and its digital counterparts, centering around JIKU Powerful Pro Yaku 4, known internationally as Power Pros 4. The author recounts their childhood days playing Little League Baseball, the practice, the sweat, and the feeling of being on the field. They contrast this with their later experiences with baseball video games, highlighting how the perception changes over time. The article delves into the specific nuances of playing Power Pros 4 on the Nintendo 64, discussing the depth of the simulation, the timing required for batting and pitching, and the strategic elements that make the game compelling. Screenshots accompany the text, showcasing the game's signature chibi art style characters in various gameplay situations, including a batter facing a pitcher, a runner on base, and field views. The UDIT displays score, inning, count, and runner status, providing a glimpse into the detailed simulation. The piece expresses a newfound appreciation for the intricacies of baseball games, particularly Power Pros 4, noting how the simulation captures certain feelings or challenges of the real sport, while also offering its own distinct enjoyment. It's clear the author is impressed by the game's ability to recreate the strategic flow and excitement of baseball in a video game format. The profile section identifies the author as Yasuru Takishima. This page features an in-depth look at the arcade sensation, Virtua Fighter 3. The main article, titled, "Experience the Excitement of Battle with Ever-Fresh Feelings," captures the reviewer's impressions of competitive play on the Model 3 arcade board. They discuss the enduring appeal of facing off against other players, highlighting the dynamic nature of matches and how the game manages to stay exciting over time. The text conveys a sense of exhilaration and the satisfying feeling of mastering the timing, rhythm, and tactics required to read opponents and emerge victorious. The reviewer praises the game for its ability to provide a consistently fresh, competitive experience. A large screenshot shows Kagemaru and likely Sarah Bryant engaged in combat. Below the main article, a smaller section introduces Virtua Fighter 3 TB, the team battle version. It notes that this version allows for 3-on-3 team matches, where players select 3 characters. The text suggests this adds a new layer of strategy and enjoyment, making it a great choice for group play. A small screenshot shows multiple characters on screen, consistent with a team battle mode, and another image appears to show people gathered, possibly arcade players or staff, enjoying the game. The piece is authored by Ataria, who clearly has a strong appreciation for the Virtua Fighter series and its competitive spirit. This page kicks off with a splash, featuring the large, exciting title, "In Store Now," dominating the top half, alongside a banner announcing a major introduction to software releasing this week. The content section lists several games hitting stores between August 18th and August 24th, covering PlayStation, Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy titles like X2, Skateboarders, GoldenEye 007, and Dino Breeder. The main feature dives deep into the PlayStation shooter, X2. The article poses the question, "Are you ready to shooting now?" highlighting the game's unique blend of horizontal and vertical scrolling stages. The reviewer emphasizes the fun variety this brings to the gameplay, keeping the action fresh as you navigate diverse environments. They note that the game features powerful weapons like missiles and lasers, acquired by defeating enemies, which are essential for taking down challenging mechanical foes. Screenshots showcase the varied perspectives of the gameplay and the intense combat. The article also details the ability to choose from 3 distinct weapon types, each with different stats for speed, power, and range, adding a strategic layer to preparation. The overall impression is that X2 offers an exhilarating shooting experience, with its dynamic scrolling and powerful arsenal. This page continues the "In Store Now" feature, showcasing 2 more exciting PlayStation releases hitting stores this week. First up is Starboarders, a shooting game where your mission is to reclaim Earth from alien invaders. It promises a challenging experience, with unique tactical map elements influencing gameplay and enemy layouts that change each time you play, requiring adaptable strategies. Screenshots highlight intense space battles, a strategic overhead view, and large, imposing enemy vessels, hinting at dynamic and varied encounters. Below that is RoboPit 2, an action game centered around building and customizing your own robot warrior. The core loop involves battling opponents, defeating them to acquire new parts, and then using those parts to modify and strengthen your machine. The game features a story mode and different battle modes, emphasizing personalized combat styles and strategy based on your robot's design and special moves. Screenshots showcase the detailed robot customization interface, vibrant combat scenes, and the visual flair of executing powerful special attacks. This page continues the "In Store Now" feature, highlighting more PlayStation releases. The top section features a puzzle game called Hateru Miyusu. It's a color-matching title where you shoot blocks from the bottom to connect 3 or more of the same color, making them disappear. The game includes various modes, such as a story mode with boss battles where blocks drop faster, a competitive versus mode where clearing blocks hinders your opponent, a survival mode with increasing speed, and a time-limited challenge mode. The screenshots show typical bubble shooter gameplay with different background stages and characters. Below that is Koi no Summer Fantasy in Miyazaki Sigaya, a live-action visual novel and dating simulation game. Players take on the role of a protagonist who meets a girl named Megumi at the Miyazaki Sigaya resort and dates her for 4 days. The objective is to build a romantic relationship through interactions and choices. The game uses live-action photos of the actress playing Megumi, shown in various resort locations like the pool. Screenshots display the date locations on a map, conversation options, and a visual representation of Megumi's emotional state, indicating how player actions influence her feelings and the relationship's progress. This page features 2 different Saturn titles. The top section covers Scorch, a futuristic high-speed racing game where you pilot advanced bikes through treacherous courses filled with canyons, tunnels, and diverse terrains. The game offers a few modes to master, including a championship where you progress through races, a time attack mode for challenging your speed, and a practice mode to get familiar with the tracks and mechanics, like using boost pickups and executing jumps. The screenshots highlight the game's polygonal graphics, showing the sleek bikes navigating various environments, and the game's heads-up display. The bottom section introduces Virus, a cyber-adventure game set in a dark future underground base. Here, a mysterious virus is transforming humans into horrific monsters. You play as Surge, a young hero tasked with uncovering the truth behind this outbreak. The gameplay blends classic adventure elements, where you use commands to investigate environments and solve puzzles, with action sequences during combat encounters. The visuals include character portraits for the cast and screenshots depicting the game's exploration segments, and the 3D battle scenes, showing robotic enemies and intense firefights. This page kicks off with a look at the iconic Nintendo 64 title, GoldenEye 007. This is the action-packed first-person shooter that put you directly into the shoes of James Bond. Living through the events of the blockbuster film, you'll undertake various missions, blending stealth and intense firefights to achieve your objectives, utilizing Bond's gadgets like the laser watch, and navigating thrilling escape sequences. The game features a mission-based structure, where successfully completing tasks allows you to progress through the story. The screenshots highlight the game's impressive 3D environments and the tactical gameplay. Moving on, the bottom half of the page features the Game Boy simulation game, Dino Breeder. This title is all about raising and evolving your very own dinosaur companion. You'll train your pet, improving its stats like speed, attack, and defense, and nurture it by providing food and care. Battling is a key part of development, and the game also includes unique events that can occur depending on where you are. The ultimate goal is to fuse your trained dinosaurs to create powerful new species, and you can even trade them with friends. The visuals show the game's sprite-based graphics and menu-driven interface. This page dives deep into the world of horse racing simulation, prominently featuring a large illustration of a charming, somewhat cartoony horse. The main focus is clearly on the popular Derby Stallion series, a highly regarded simulation game where players breed and train racehorses. The large vertical text emphatically states that the publisher knows Derby Stallion better than anyone. The page highlights various guidebooks for the game, including a Breeder's Bible, currently on sale for the PlayStation version, and announces upcoming official guidebooks and a complete book for the series set for release in the coming months. The bottom section also showcases other strategy guides available from the publisher for a variety of games, covering titles like Next King, Bounty Sword, First, Clones Gate, Runabout, Princess Maker 3, Fairy Tales Come True, and Tokyo Stream Racer R. This page serves as a dedicated resource guide for fans of simulation and racing games, particularly the long-running and beloved Derby Stallion franchise, and also promotes other strategy guides from their catalog. This page is an advertisement for the Sega Saturn game Kamen Rider, Strategy File 1. It features a striking image of the original Kamen Rider, Ichigo, against a red background with blurred text reading, Masked Rider File. The page positions the player as an executive candidate in a new villainous organization, tasked with defeating Kamen Rider. The game involves analyzing past battle data to formulate strategies for eliminating the legendary hero. The ad highlights the game's unique premise, allowing players to experience the world from the perspective of the antagonists. It announces the game's release date as October 23rd, and lists the price at 6,800 yen. The Sega Saturn logo confirms the platform for this strategic simulation game. This page is an advertisement for Square's seminal strategy RPG, Final Fantasy Tactics. The headline boldly declares that Square has changed the common sense of simulation, RPGs. Prominently featured is the game's logo, overlaid on an illustration of soldiers, alongside the text, "Beyond the 1 million, celebrating its major sales milestone." The text explains that Final Fantasy Tactics, created by Square with immense dedication, has surpassed 1 million copies sold. It highlights the game's advanced strategic depth, which fully leveraged the capabilities of the PlayStation, and the deep emotional impact derived from its meticulously crafted setting. The ad asserts that the fusion of these elements resulted in a new level of simulation RPG experience, previously unattainable. Square concludes by stating its commitment to continue challenging the boundaries of entertainment at a higher level. This is a classic ad promoting the critical and commercial success of one of the most beloved titles in the genre. This page features an advertisement for Squaresoft's dramatic simulation RPG, Front Mission 2. Positioned as the second volume, following the critically acclaimed Final Fantasy Tactics, the ad highlights how the game depicts a world filled with near-future realism, expressed without reservation. It describes the extreme battlefields where the story unfolds, presenting a sad, yet grand drama. The text emphasizes the enhanced strategic depth brought by 3D graphics and powerful, movie-like battle scenes. It proclaims that this new world, deepened in all aspects, will grab the player's heart and never let go. The ad proudly displays the game's logo, the genre classification, and the release date of September 25th, Thursday, on sale, along with the price. The PlayStation logo confirms the platform. This ad effectively leverages the success of FFT to promote Square's next major tactical RPG release. This page features an abstract, striking image dominated by a large, rough, reddish-orange shape resembling a smeared cross or X against a dark, speckled background. A small PlayStation logo is visible in the bottom left. The page presents a series of potent Japanese phrases listed vertically in white text. These phrases act as key words or thematic concepts, translating to rampage, arc, collapse, the god who fell, creation, the time of eternity, prosperity and oblivion, and reincarnation and awakening. The page appears to be a teaser advertisement for an upcoming PlayStation game, hinting at a narrative or world centered around these dramatic, perhaps apocalyptic, or spiritual themes. The stark visual and evocative text create a sense of mystery and intrigue without revealing the game's title. This advertisement page prominently features the PlayStation RPG Xenogears. The page displays a silhouetted character portrait and the game's title in both English and Japanese. Two screenshots showcase gameplay, a mech battle scene, and an overhead world map. The ad highlights key features like a full 3D map, unique animation, and huge gears battling. It positions Xenogears as a kinetic RPG from Squaresoft, promising a major release in winter 1997. Details like the game being on 2 Candela's rooms and credits to Kunihiko Tanaka, character design, and Junya Ishigaki, mechanical design, are also included. A small screenshot suggests cutscenes and human characters with lost memories. This page confirms Xenogears as the game, tying into the previous page's themes of rampage, collapse, creation, and cyclical existence. This page introduces the character Nina from Breath of Fire 2i. The page features a striking illustration of Nina in her signature red dress with puffed sleeves, framed by what appear to be ethereal blue wings. Large Japanese text dominates the left side, alongside smaller text providing her profile. The description identifies Nina as a princess from the royal family who has lost something. An encounter with a young boy prompts her to embark on a journey, during which she gains something in place of her lost wings. This profile effectively captures Nina's core story arc and design from the classic PlayStation RPG. The next page is a full-page advertisement for Breath of Fire 2 Eyes on the PlayStation, released on September 11, 1997. The ad features the game's striking logo prominently displayed across a series of screenshots arranged like film strips, showcasing various aspects of gameplay including battles, exploration, and world map navigation. The advertisement highlights several key features of the game. It emphasizes the unique Dragon Gene system, allowing players to combine different genes found in the world to transform into various powerful dragons, promising 987 possible combinations to discover the ultimate form. Navigation is improved, with a 3D map system, where players can shift perspective and rotate the view to locate hidden items and information. The game also introduces the learning skill system, enabling characters to learn abilities directly from enemies and other characters encountered, adding a layer of customization to party development. Furthermore, characters possess unique actions that can be utilized in towns and dungeons, adding tactical depth beyond combat. The ad proclaims that the true power is being tested now in this third installment of the Breath of Fire legend, building upon the series' reputation with significant power-ups and technical skills. The next page features a vibrant advertisement for the Street Fighter collection, released on both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. This collection is a must-have for fighting game fans, bringing together 3 classic titles: Super Street Fighter II, Super Street Fighter II Turbo, and Street Fighter Alpha 2 Gold. The main artwork showcases some of the series' most iconic characters, including Ryu, Chun-Li, Cammy, Balrog, and Teethawk, rendered in the signature anime style. The vertical text on the left simply states, "The stage of battle is 3, highlighting the 3 games included. Below the main title, smaller screenshots provide a glimpse of the gameplay from each title, reminding players of the distinct visual styles and mechanics they can experience. This collection offers a fantastic package for revisiting some of the most important games in the fighting genre's history on home consoles. This page features a prominent advertisement for the PlayStation game Aoki Kishi Beruzaruga Monogatari, known internationally as Blue Knight Votoms. This title plunges players into the gritty, realistic world of armored trooper Votoms, focusing on intense mech combat and strategy. The ad highlights the game's 3D battles and the ability to customize your mechs, known as ATS, Armored Troopers, which is a core appeal of the Votoms universe. Screenshots showcase the mechs in action within detailed environments, and also hint at the customization options available. The main visual features the imposing blue mech from the title. Released on September 11, 1997, the game was available for 5,800 yen, excluding tax, with details provided for limited and standard editions, as well as pre-order campaigns, indicating the publisher's push for this mech simulation title on the PlayStation. This page features a striking advertisement for the PlayStation title Cool Borders 2, known in Japan with the subtitle Killing Session. The presentation adopts a cool, manga-inspired style, showcasing characters and action in comic panel layouts, alongside a dynamic logo. It highlights the game's diverse modes, including versus battle, with split screen and link cable support, free ride, time attack, trick competitions, and specialized combined events like jump and half-pipe challenges. The advertisement also points to a wide board park for exploration and mentions over 9 courses available. Releasing on August 28, this entry built upon the foundation of the original, pushing the snowboarding simulation genre forward with more detailed environments, refined controls, and expanded trick systems, solidifying its reputation as a premier snowboarding game on the platform. This page presents a collection of diverse columns and reader submissions. A large central section titled Game Empire features intriguing, somewhat ominous imagery alongside text describing the Empire's atmosphere becoming increasingly cold, leading to a significant surge in workload, perhaps a metaphor for industry pressures or game development cycles. Further down, the column Devil's Easy Chair offers a reflection on consuming various forms of media, including scary movies, manga, TV dramas, and unique horror games. It touches upon the challenges of managing large collections of videotapes and crids, and the frustration of dealing with fragmented information across different media. Another prominent column, Goddess's Figure 4 Leg Lock, appears to be a personal or diary-style piece, detailing daily routines from waking up and exercise to using the toilet, interspersed with thoughts on social interactions, pen names, and dating, presented with a potentially humorous tone. Scattered throughout the page are smaller reader mail or short columns addressing a variety of quirky topics, from bizarre questions about tape recorders and Ultraman's powers, to brief mentions of games like Mario and the PlayStation console, as well as personal anecdotes about impulse purchases like aerobic bikes and home saunas. The page serves as a collection of diverse perspectives and musings, related, in part, to gaming and lifestyle. This page features a fun quiz based on the classic fighting game series, Street Fighter. The main section is a crossword puzzle with clues based on various characters and moves like Vega, Adanon, Dalsim, Chun-Li, Hadoken, Headbutt, and Yoga Fire. The rules explain how to fill in the grid, based on the number of characters and the direction of the words. There's also a look back at the answers from the previous week's puzzle, featuring titles such as YS and Gradius. The page also includes information on how to enter the quiz for a chance to win game-related prizes, along with a list of previous participants or winners spanning different prefectures. Below the quiz, the page includes the second installment of a column titled, Understand the Game Industry in One Frame. This segment focuses on Sadokore, referring to the Sega Saturn collection series. It explains that these were popular Saturn games, re-released at a budget price of 2,800 yen, noting that PlayStation also had a similar initiative. The column highlights this as a positive trend, allowing users to acquire well-known games affordably. Accompanying this are images displaying various game covers from the Saturn collection lineup. The page also solicits reader mail for the column's author. This page features the second installment of a bi-weekly project focusing on employee training, taking the Famitsu staff to Okinawa for a resort stay. The article discusses the trip, involving a small group of staff including the author known as Kuma-san, and their experiences, humorously mentioning comparisons to actors like Schwarzenegger and Stallone. There's also a section covering internal happenings, including a humorous anecdote about a staff member named Midihara Fuji struggling to finish work and avoid being cut from the editing team. Another story details a late-night encounter at the hotel with sidelift girls prowling the premises, accompanied by a photo. On the right side, the magazine editorial department is visited by cosplayers, featuring characters like Chun-Li and Cammy, in promotion of Bandai and PlayStation software. A small poll conducted by the Famitsu research group highlights Derby Stallion on PlayStation as popular among staff, alongside other games like Resident Evil, Dungeon Keeper, and Final Fantasy, noting golf and Famitsu baseball are also favorite activities. Finally, the page previews upcoming media, including a TV show featuring the King of Fighters 97 and Pro Baseball King, and details on a game catalog supplement promising character analysis, and a feature on GAL characters from various games. This page is a large advertisement for the Computer College Land Dreamland chain of game design schools. It highlights the Tokyo Game Designer Institute, listing various courses covering game creation, programming, graphics, sound design, and game planning. It also prominently announces the 1998 opening of new branches in Nagoya, Yokohama, and Omiya. The page features a large photo of a lecture hall packed with students, proclaiming it to be Japan's largest game creator school, fostering legends in the industry. There's also a smaller featured story, celebrating the success of a female student, Kaori Igami, who became a programmer after completing her studies there, emphasizing the school's role in launching careers. Finally, it announces the opening of the Osaka Game Designer Institute, also in 1998, demonstrating the school's expansion. The focus is clearly on recruiting students, by showcasing the comprehensive training offered, and the success stories of its graduates. This page details Voiceland Munet, an audio information and communication service aimed at fans of games, anime, and comics, accessible 24 hours a day via phone. It acts as a hub where users can connect with fellow fans, find pen pals or circle members, buy, sell, or exchange related items, and access strategy and cheat information for various games. The service is navigated by dialing specific 2-digit codes corresponding to different categories. These categories cover a wide range of interests, including finding pen friends, discussions on consumer and arcade games, sharing game strategies, trading items, character discussions, cosplay, voice actors, impressions, old stories, radio, anime, comics, doujinshi, entertainment, novels, artists, and idols. There are also regional chat options. A significant portion is dedicated to game-specific codes, offering information and chat channels for numerous popular game series across various platforms and genres, such as fighting games, role-playing games, simulation games, and many more. The service also includes options for listening to user-submitted mail. It's presented as a comprehensive voice-based community for enthusiasts. This page announces the opening of the Performing Arts Center in October 1997. Produced by Nachi Nozawa, the center aims to cultivate new talent for musicals and voice acting as the year 2000 approaches. It highlights that top artists from the Japanese musical and voice acting industries will come together to bring out the students' potential. The center offers various courses including voice acting, musical, main course and basic, and musical, junior, for younger students. The lesson content covers foundational training based on professional experience and specialized training adaptable to media, including acting, vocalization, dance, and stage performance. A significant number of notable figures are listed as guests supporting the initiative, suggesting a strong network and potential for high-quality instruction. The page concludes with details about the first special recruitment period and contact information for inquiries and applications. This page showcases several offerings from the Famitsu game Bunko line, focusing on publications related to popular video games. The main highlight at the top is a novel titled Bounty Sword, First the Grave of the Holy Sword, authored by Yuichi Ishida, with illustrations by Atsushi Nakamura. It's presented with dramatic character artwork and the series logo, indicating it's the first installment available for 580 yen plus tax. Further down, the page promotes a game book for the renowned horse racing simulation series, Derby Stallion. Titled The Beasta World's New Development, this book aims to guide players in conquering domestic GI races and taking on overseas challenges. It includes an illustration representative of the game's style, and is credited to Takao Suda and Dragon Press, priced at 640 yen plus tax. Finally, there's a call for submissions for the Famitsu game Bunko Novelist Recruitment. They are seeking writers to create original stories featuring characters from popular games released on platforms like the Super Famicom, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn, indicating an expansion of their game-based publishing efforts. Details for application and contact information are provided for interested aspiring writers. This page features the weekly Famitsu Top 30 Reader Sales List. It presents a multi-column ranking of the top-selling video games based on data collected from various Japanese retailers across the country. The list includes numerous popular titles from the era, such as Resident Evil, Final Fantasy V2, Gran Turismo, Derby Stallion, and various Pokemon titles, detailing their positions in the chart along with their respective platforms and publishers. The bottom right of the page highlights the specific store chains that contribute data to this weekly sales ranking, indicating the source of the list's information. This page serves as a snapshot of the most popular games being purchased by Japanese readers during this particular week. This page is an advertisement for the PIW mail order service, offering nationwide delivery for TV games, anime on LD, VC, CD, character goods, and strategy guides. They boast next-day delivery and accept reservations for new releases. The core of the page features a massive listing of products available for purchase via mail order, covering a wide range of items from different categories like games, anime, music, and merchandise, along with their prices and release details. Highlighted prominently is a section dedicated to upcoming PlayStation titles. This showcases the character-raising simulation game Sodate Tellwise Angel, the anticipated RPG sequel Breath of Fire 2i with a game screenshot, and the fighting game Battle Arena to Shinden 3, titled Fighting Illusion in Japan, featuring character artwork. Also featured is the snowboarding sequel Cool Borders 2. Additionally, there's an advertisement for a limited edition soundtrack release for the game Basara. Finally, the page provides contact information and locations for PIW retail stores specializing in game software and hardware. This page is a guide dedicated to the popular dating simulation game, Tokimeki Memorial. Specifically, it focuses on introducing various special events you can experience with the beloved sporty heroine, Saki Nijino. Titled Event Guide Part 5, the feature encourages players to see Saki's events multiple times through dedication. It showcases 5 different scenarios featuring Saki, sharing homemade lunches in both the park and on the school rooftop, a touching moment where Saki expresses her feelings, cheering vigorously for her at a sports stadium, and a heartwarming post-graduation event showing Saki with a young child, hinting at a future together. The page provides screenshots for each event, giving players a visual preview. It also includes icons indicating which platforms, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Super Famicom, PC Engine, each event is available on, noting that some events vary depending on the version of the game you are playing. It's a concise overview for players looking to deepen their relationship with Saki Nijino and unlock her special moments. This page dives deeper into the world of Tokimeki Memorial, moving beyond the gameplay itself to explore the fan experience and merchandise. The top section includes a message or diary entry from someone named Sayuri, sharing her personal feelings and memories evoked by listening to the game's soundtrack. It seems to be a heartfelt reflection on her time playing and the impact the characters and music had on her. The central focus is on official merchandise designed for dedicated fans. Titled Attention to Those Who Want to Fully Equip Their Body with Tokimeki, this section showcases various items featuring character patterns. We see a good night towel, perfect for winding down, trunks, boxer shorts for comfort, and good night slippers for home use. These are presented as ways for players to incorporate their love for the game into their everyday lives. Off to the side, there's a feature on a Saki Nijino themed teacup, suggesting another piece of character-specific merchandise available. It seems like a nice item for fans of the energetic heroine. A small diary section at the bottom wraps up the page, likely with a brief note related to the game or its community. It's clear this page caters to the passionate fanbase, offering ways to connect with Tokimeki Memorial beyond the console. This page jumps straight into the action of Virtua Fighter, focusing on advanced combat techniques. Titled, "It's Time for Interesting Combos." The section promises techniques that are both damaging and visually impressive. The core of the page provides detailed breakdowns of specific combo sequences. Using multiple screenshots, it illustrates the step-by-step execution of these moves, complete with the required button inputs like punch, P, kick, K, and guard, G. Characters such as Akira Yuki and Lion Rafale are featured, demonstrating these powerful chains. Accompanying text explains the nuances of each combo, offering tips on timing and application. There's a section titled, "This is how to start mastering these techniques," and another asking, "Akira, are these practical?" The content clearly aims to guide players in learning and implementing these advanced strategies to improve their gameplay in Virtua Fighter. It's a hands-on guide for dedicated players looking to elevate their fighting skills. This page is a cue and a session for the game Sentimental Graffiti, titled Sentimental Graffiti Q and a Part 2. It delves into various questions from fans about the popular dating simulation game. Key topics include a report from a game show event where the game was featured, discussing what happened there. Another section addresses whether the beautiful backgrounds in the game are based on real-world locations and features comparison screenshots. Players are also curious about the release status of the PlayStation version, the overall completion rate players are achieving, and details about the limited edition release of the game. Finally, it touches upon what it's like for the player character to meet the game's heroines. The page features character art and screenshots from the game to illustrate the points being discussed. This page dives into the Sega Saturn adventure game, Virus. It highlights the game's unique system, described alongside impressive graphics and the distinctive Virus world setting. Spread across 2 discs, it promises not only the main story, but also includes essential gameplay advice, strategic tips, detailed maps, and engaging minigames, all designed to help players reach the ending. Screenshots showcase a varied experience, from navigating abstract cybernetic environments to key character interactions, a glimpse of a fearsome viral enemy, and the interface for saving progress. The article points out that crucial hints for solving puzzles or understanding character motivations are hidden within the game's animation sequences. Players will need to pay close attention during these scenes. Combat or action segments utilize an action point (AP) system. An efficient use of AP is presented as vital for survival, stressing the need to manage resources and recovery effectively. Saving progress frequently is strongly recommended, especially before tackling minigames, boss encounters, or significant story events. Adding depth are unique mechanics, like a stock trading system tied to the in-game clock and story progression, where investing wisely and knowing when to sell can be beneficial. A mysterious character named In10 Calf appears later, offering valuable information, and whose substantial fortune unlocks powerful items and opportunities for character growth, including unique training from a monster. This suggests a game that blends traditional adventure elements with diverse interactive systems. This guide provides strategies for the Sega Saturn game, Virus, focusing on combat and item management. Real-time combat involves button-based commands. Efficient selection is critical. Against standard enemies, Zakos, utilize Accelera 25 for AP and Net Flash for area damage. Boss battles require the analyzer to identify weak points and prioritize HP recovery. Targeting these changing weak points is crucial, using net HOMs to reveal them. Raising license rank through simulation battles unlocks better items at lower prices, essential for progression, especially for the final boss. Requires rank 5. The guide also features a table detailing item locations for weapons and healing supplies. Overall, the page highlights strategic item usage, AP management, and exploiting enemy weaknesses for a tactical experience. This page provides a strategy guide covering the latter half of the game Virus, starting from Disc 2 through to the ending. It highlights key progression points and areas players will navigate. The guide begins with the start of the game from the protagonist's room, leading to the headquarters where you'll encounter allies like Ash and Melody. The first network area discussed is the History Net, a relatively small space where obtaining the blue medal is a crucial step. Following this, a new incident involving the Twinell company is introduced via news reports, prompting an investigation into the problematic company and an encounter with Mr. Twinell, The guide then details the business net, a larger and more complex area requiring strategic movement and information gathering. A map of the business net is provided to aid navigation through its different rooms, like the office and meeting rooms. The overall aim is to equip players with the knowledge needed to successfully progress through these late-game sections and reach the conclusion. This page continues the strategy guide for the game Virus, delving into areas beyond the business net. It starts by guiding players into the fantasy net, providing a sequence of steps for progression within this area, which involves talking to characters, getting hints, fighting monsters, and obtaining items. Below this, a detailed map of the culture net is presented, described as a large and complex network filled with viruses. The text warns players to be cautious while navigating this area and identifying virus sources. The guide then shifts focus to the colony, providing a map of the area and outlining the investigation process after obtaining information from McNorton. This involves searching dive ports to gather essential data. Further sections cover searching for viruses in a lake area, including details about a boss battle where part of the virus resides within the defeated enemy. The guide also touches upon the resort net, a unique area where gathering information, potentially about drugs, is important before moving on to the Relive net. In the Relive net, the player investigates a hospital, talking to doctors and nurses for clues. Finally, there are hints about mini-games or puzzles, including an ocarina practice event and a password hint involving a colorful cube and jewels. The page features numerous screenshots showing character portraits, gameplay scenes from the various network areas, and images related to the minigames. This page continues the deep dive into the world of Virus, picking up where the last left off with the business net. It highlights that anomalies are occurring here, emphasizing navigating the routes, dealing with time limits, and staying alert for potential game-ending situations. You'll need to use the map effectively to avoid trouble. Following up on information gathering, it reveals that Donna is actually an intelligence source, providing crucial leads. Based on this intel, the guide directs you to the Relive net, where you'll need to investigate both the hospital and the church in search of the priest. The page also details a couple of mini-games you'll encounter. One involves creating an antibody, a relatively straightforward task requiring quick reactions based on a visual guide. Another is a puzzle centered around playing notes on a piano. Paying attention to the positions of the notes is key to solving this seemingly simple riddle. A major revelation is the fate of the priest, who has seemingly been infected by the virus. This leads to a confrontation, with a large illustration showing the powerful, infected form you'll have to face off against in the Relive net. It emphasizes the strength of this foe, but assures you can overcome it by using items and persistent attacks. The journey in the Relive net involves following Donna's directions and exploring the area to reach the priest and confront the virus. The final message suggests this guide's assistance reaches its limit at this point. This page is a striking advertisement for the hybrid adventure game Virus, a collaborative project from Hudson, Sega, and Avex. It highlights the creature designer Yasushi Nirasawa and the main theme song by Favorite Blue, announcing the game's release today on 3 quadrums for 6,800 yen. This page introduces the game Processing Alive, also known as the Cybernet, or Virus. Set in the 22nd century, the world faces environmental devastation from the previous century, driving humanity to seek refuge both in space and within a vast virtual space called the Cyber Network. Players enter this network as planners, converting their physical and mental data to navigate this complex digital world built for business and entertainment. The narrative centers on the conflict against highly skilled cybercriminals who threaten the network's data, countered by the Federal Investigation Agency known as STAND. The page emphasizes the game's unique, hybrid visual style, showcasing a blend of detailed 3D CG environments and mechs, alongside expressive, 2D anime-style characters. Screenshots depict futuristic landscapes, abstract digital spaces, mech combat, and character portraits. This visual fusion promises an unprecedented sense of presence. The bottom section confirms the game's presence at the Tokyo Game Show '97 autumn event, providing venue and date information. This page is likely the cover of the magazine, Login, published by ASC2, and it's heavily promoting a special appendix Clindrome. The main highlight of the CD is the complete Windows 95 version of Nectaris, a classic SF simulation game. The CD also includes trial versions of the well-regarded driving game Interstate 76 and the simulation SimTune, along with content related to Phantasm 2 and an exclusive login screensaver. A major feature discussed in the issue is posed as a question: can Dungeon Keeper surpass Diablo? Promising insight into how these two giants of dark fantasy PC gaming stack up against each other. The cover art itself is striking, featuring a peculiar, fuzzy creature in a detailed futuristic diving helmet reading a book while submerged, which perfectly captures the quirky nature often found in gaming magazines of this era. The page declares the magazine is a comprehensive digital software information guide. This page is an exciting promotional spread for the King of Fighters 97. One of the landmark titles in the legendary fighting game series. Featured prominently is stunning artwork showcasing several key characters from the game, including the main protagonist Kyo Kusanagi, his fierce rival Yori Yagami, the stylish Benimaru Nikaido, the cool Blue Mary, the unmistakable Terry Bogard with his hat, and the enthusiastic newcomer Shingo Yabuki. The page announces the game is coming up and prominently displays the iconic The King of Fighters 97 logo. It confirms the game is coming to the Neo Geo system, showcasing the platform's logo. Small screenshots at the bottom give a taste of the vibrant stages and explosive fighting action players can look forward to in this highly anticipated installment. This page serves as a powerful visual advertisement, building hype for the game's release. This page is a powerful promotional piece for Samurai Shodown IV, Amakusa's Revenge. The striking artwork immediately grabs your attention, featuring the iconic protagonist Haomaru, poised for battle. The ominous presence of the resurrected antagonist Shiro Amakusa is clearly depicted, underscoring the game's central conflict. Other key characters from the legendary fighting series are also shown. The Japanese text emphasizes that the time of revival has come, with Amakusa's grudge returning. The page confirms the game is coming to the Sega Saturn system, scheduled for release on October 2nd. It's a visually rich announcement designed to build hype for the latest installment in the classic weapon-based fighter franchise. The next page showcases the action game Wiz. The main artwork features Wiz himself, the protagonist rabbit magician, surrounded by floating playing cards. The Japanese headline translates to "Big commotion between up and down," suggesting a theme of verticality or contrasting elements in the gameplay. This is a colorful and whimsical adventure, starring a charming character. The page includes 3 small screenshots providing glimpses of the game's environments and perspectives, showing areas like a level within a hot air balloon, a top-down view of a landscape, and a level constructed from playing cards. Wiz was released on both the PlayStation and Sega Saturn platforms, offering players on both consoles a chance to experience this unique action game. This page features a full-page spread for the adventure game Dark Seed 2, instantly recognizable by its disturbing artwork based on the iconic style of H.R. Giger, the creator of the alien creature. The central image is a nightmarish, biomechanical face adorned with industrial elements. The prominent Japanese headline translates to "Falling, Truly Falling," hinting at the game's theme of descent into a dark, surreal world. Below the game's title, which clearly states its connection to H.R. Giger, are 3 small screenshots showcasing different environments from this point-and-click adventure, displaying the unique, unsettling aesthetic players will explore. The game was released on both the PlayStation and Sega Saturn platforms, offering fans of psychological horror and Giger's art a chance to delve into its bizarre narrative developed by Cyberdreams. This page features a preview or advertisement for the mystery adventure game Inspector Minton's case file, The Clown Murder Case, developed by Riverhill Soft. The main visual highlights the game's title in a bold, textured font. The page presents 3 small screenshots showcasing the game's environments, which appear to be 3D rendered street scenes and interiors, utilizing a system described as the New Visual System SAME. The text describes the game as a full-fledged mystery adventure where players investigate a murder case involving a clown, following the investigation of Inspector Minton. It mentions features like detailed visual representation, over 50 unique characters, full voice acting for dramatic narration, and impactful background music. Also prominently displayed is information about the Sega Saturn release, including the release date of October 23rd, and the price. The page notes that PlayStation and Windows 95 versions are also planned or available. A special purchase campaign is detailed, offering prizes like Victorinox knives, Zippo lighters, cross pens, and telephone cards to those who purchase the Sega Saturn version and enter a draw. The bottom of the page includes the Tokyo Game Show 97 logo, indicating its presence or promotion at the event. This page is an advertisement for the River Hill Soft game. Inspector Minton's case file, the clown murder case. Focusing on a character or theme represented by the title, Suspect Yay. The stark image of a man with a black bar over his eyes complements the vertical text stating, "In investigation, preconceptions are forbidden." It's featured for the Sega Saturn. This page is an advertisement for the PlayStation game, St. Andrew's Old Course, presented as the ultimate golf simulation. The ad prominently features the historic course, calling it the home of golf and sacred ground, and emphasizing its complete reproduction within the game. Key features highlighted include realistic motion-captured gameplay, the ability to train original players, and strategic information about the course, along with video footage of the surrounding town. Screenshots show the detailed course environments and golfer models. The game was slated for release on August 28, 1997, priced at 5,800 yen. At the bottom, there's also a brief advertisement for the Tokyo Game Show 97 Autumn event. This page is an advertisement for the game of DX, the Game of Life 2, available for PlayStation and Sega Saturn. The central theme is, "Let's make your dreams come true," as the classic board game gets a power-up on consoles. The ad depicts characters ascending steps, symbolizing the journey through life, mirroring the gameplay of the Game of Life. It highlights various potential life paths players can take, such as becoming a top F1 racer, a supermodel, an artist, a stewardess, a J-League player, or a world traveler seeking adventure. The game promises interesting and fun events, mini-games, and the ability to develop character parameters like intelligence, physical strength, and morality to build a fulfilling life. Screenshots show the game board, character interactions, and various events or mini-game scenes. The game was available, now on sale, for 5,800 yen. At the bottom, there's a brief note about the Tokyo Game Show 97 Autumn event. This page is an advertisement for merchandise related to the classic dating simulation series, Tokimeki Memorial. Titled, Tokimeki Goods Life, and themed around Happy Hour Tokimeki Goods, the page showcases various lifestyle items. The image features a woman relaxing in a room filled with Tokimeki Memorial branded plush toys, dolls, including one resembling Shiori Fujisaki, and other goods like patterned flooring and what appears to be a rocking horse. It's clearly promoting a range of merchandise aimed at fans, encouraging them to incorporate their love for the series into their everyday life. Konami, the publisher of the games, is listed on the page, confirming its official nature. This page features a wide array of merchandise based on the popular dating simulation series, Tokimeki Memorial, building on the lifestyle theme seen on the previous page. It highlights several items available for purchase, all set for release on December 18th. Among the offerings are collectible items like the Omoid music box, featuring 2 characters, a Tokimeki Memorial wristwatch packaged in a decorative tin, and the 3rd volume of the Memorial Collection trading cards, available individually or in a package set. Fans can also find smaller accessories, like an alarm keychain. For collectors of dolls, a larger doll resembling the iconic character Shiori Fujisaki is presented. The page also shows a set of Tokimeki desk mats, featuring different scenes. Additionally, there's a mention of a special campaign offering Tokimeki Memorial plushies and figures. Konami is listed as the publisher, confirming these are official goods for fans of the series. This page from Konami Entertainment Club introduces a new point system for their mail-order service, encouraging customers to collect points for special offers. It prominently features sought-after original merchandise for 2 classic Konami titles, Castlevania, Rondo of Blood, and Policenauts. For Castlevania, fans could grab a stylish black windbreaker with the game's logo, or a set of 4 telephone cards featuring stunning character and monster artwork from the game. Policenauts collectors weren't left out, with a cool stadium jumper jacket adorned with game motifs and a detailed replica of Jonathan Ingram's badge. All these items are presented as limited editions, with only 500 pieces or sets available, making them quite the find for dedicated fans back then. This was Konami leveraging their popular franchises to build a loyal customer base through exclusive merchandise and a rewards program. This page features new merchandise from the beloved dating simulation series, Tokimeki Memorial, proving these goods are just as popular. Front and center is a large standee of the game's iconic heroine, Shiori Fujisaki. Fans could also collect sets of character battery covers or similar cylindrical items, with one set featuring the female characters and another highlighting the male characters, both offered as limited editions, with 500 sets available each. Also available is a reproduction of the Tokimeki High School gym uniform set, A fun piece of memorabilia also released in limited quantities of 300. The page also reminds customers about the Konami Entertainment Club point system previously introduced, explaining how points earned from purchases can be redeemed for discounts on future orders. Ordering information is provided, detailing how to purchase these limited items via telephone, fax, or the internet, along with details on shipping costs. This page highlights the Victor Twin Operator, an accessory for the Sega Saturn. This device allows the Saturn console to play video crids and photo crids, essentially upgrading its multimedia capabilities. It's presented as a simple add-on that enhances video playback, especially for MPEG-compatible game cutscenes and anime sequences, offering improved quality. The accessory is priced at 18,000 yen. The page also includes an exciting announcement at the bottom. 3 legendary RPG titles are being revived on the Saturn. While not explicitly named in the text, the accompanying graphics strongly suggest these titles are Dragon Quest II-I, Final Fantasy II-I, specifically the SNES version, and potentially a Phantasy Star compilation, promising major ports for Saturn owners. This page continues highlighting the Victor Twin Operator for the Sega Saturn, announcing its arrival in stock with new packaging and easy operation, reinforcing its role in expanding the Saturn's multimedia capabilities. It boasts compatibility with over 2,500 video CD titles and a growing library of MPEG-compatible game software. Featured titles leveraging this technology include the stunning Lunar Silver Star Story Complete, presented as an Impeg-exclusive title, and Moon Cradle. The page also showcases other games available on the platform, such as the intense shooter battle Garega, Undersea Dead Heat plus Real Arrange, and the character-focused Sakura Wars Hanagumi Communication. Additionally, a significant announcement is made for fans of classic RPGs, the release of Falcom Classics. This compilation offers a limited first press edition featuring a special 2-disc set with voice dramas and character visuals alongside the game, emphasizing bonus content for early adopters. This page is a large advertisement for a vision recovery training course, claiming improvements for various sight issues like nearsightedness and astigmatism, and offering free information. This page is a full-page advertisement promoting a vision recovery training program, titled dramatically as achieving 1.0 vision and no longer needing glasses or contact lenses. The ad claims widespread success with hundreds of thousands of users in both America and Japan. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to showcasing testimonials from various individuals who have purportedly used the program and experienced positive results, presented as Voices of Joy. The advertisement also features the developer of the program, Drive Ewing Chow, highlighting his background. It emphasizes that the program has garnered media attention and is easy to implement, requiring only 15 minutes a day with no special equipment, making it accessible for anyone to start without worry. This advertisement promotes manga, published under Shonen Gangan and Gag King labels, highlighting upcoming releases. 2 featured series, Protect Me, Shugoget Volume 3 and The Violinist of Hamelin Volume 21, releasing August 22nd. Are priced at 410 yen with a phone card promotion. Protect Me, Shugogetten offers romantic fantasy, while The Violinist of Hamelin promises dramatic adventures. Gag King comics listed include No Need for Your Opinions, Volume 3, and Half-Boiled Ninjutsu Account, Volume 5, the final volume. Gangan comics, also releasing August 22nd for 410 yen, feature Choco Beast, Volume 4, along with short story collections Beast and Beast, and Emily of the Show Window by Rin Asano and Mine Sakurano, respectively. The page showcases Square's manga lineup, targeting readers with new volumes and special offers. This page continues the focus on manga and comic releases, this time highlighting titles published under the Enix label, many based on popular video games. Featured prominently are new volumes from original series like Koku no Daiichi Volume 2 and Kamisama no Tsukurikata Volume 4, with their distinctive artwork dominating the page. Enix's D Fantasy Comics line is promoted with upcoming releases for August 27th, including Super Comic Geekiju entries for Mystic Arc 3 and Fire Emblem, Mystery of the Emblem. These adapt the popular games into comic form. For Dragon Quest fans, the page promotes the currently available Kamui Fujiwara Illustration Collection 2, featuring art from the Dragon Quest, the emblem of Roto manga adaptation. Additionally, several volumes from the popular 4-panel manga theater series are listed for release in late August, including 2 Dragon Quest volumes, 11 and 15, and a volume based on Street Fighter II-I. The page serves as a comprehensive guide to Enix's game-related and original comic offerings for late summer. This page presents the DigiCube Players Collections, showcasing a desirable selection of game merchandise available from the distributor. A prominent banner across the top warns that these items are selling out quickly, and advises fans to purchase their pre-collections early, highlighting their popularity and collectible nature. The page displays various items related to popular Square titles from the era. Featured are substantial collector's boxes for Final Fantasy, alongside merchandise for Final Fantasy Tactics, including what appears to be strategy guides or art books. The Saga series is well represented with items for Romancing Saga and Saga Frontier. Fans of fighting games can find soundtracks for Tobal No. 1 and Tobal 2. Originally, the collection includes items whose cover art strongly suggests merchandise for acclaimed titles like Xenogears and Parasite Eves, featuring distinctive character art and imagery. The items primarily consist of collector's editions, soundtracks, and informational guides, reflecting the variety of premium goods DigiCube offered to dedicated players. The overall presentation emphasizes the value and demand for these game-related collectibles. This page continues the showcase of DigiCube Players Collections, presenting a wide array of premium merchandise for Square and related titles. The offerings primarily consist of official guides and original game soundtracks. Featured guides include multi-volume complete works for Final Fantasy, providing detailed information on lore, characters, and gameplay techniques. A large-scale guide for the Romancing Saga series covers scenarios, skills, and characters. Strategy guides are available for Bushido Blade and the upcoming Saga Frontier, with the latter promising linkage to the game's hypertext system and comprehensive coverage, noted as coming soon. For Final Fantasy Tactics, there are detailed character books across 2 volumes, complete with character cards and mini-books, plus a dedicated strategy guidebook. Another guidebook is listed for Street Fighter X Plus Alpha, offering command lists and strategic advice. The selection of game music creds is extensive. Highlights include the multi-disc original soundtracks for Final Fantasy V2, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Saga Frontier. Soundtracks are also available for Terranigma, including an orchestral arrangement album, and for the Tobal series, featuring OSTs for Tobal No. 1 and Tobal 2, along with a remix album for Tobal No. 1. A vocal selection album for Terranigma is also presented. These items cater to dedicated fans, offering deep dives into game mechanics, lore, and memorable music, reinforcing their value as essential additions for any collector. This page is an advertisement promoting the game Silhouette Mirage. It announces that on August 24th, a free trial version of the game will be given away at game shops nationwide. The main game is scheduled for release on September 11th. The ad features an illustration of a character from the game and highlights the game's case art. It also includes information about the Tokyo Game Show 97 autumn event. This page is a vibrant advertisement for the classic action platformer Silhouette Mirage, developed by the legendary Treasure. The main visual features a close-up of a girl's face, stylized with cartoon elements like a large blue hat, blue face paint, and a drawn hand, evoking the game's unique visual style. The ad prominently displays the game's title logo, Silhouette Mirage, which is known for its distinct gameplay mechanic, centered around opposing silhouette and mirage attributes. The key message of the advertisement is delivered through a speech bubble next to the girl's face, urging players to get hooked for free before release. This highlights a free trial or demo version being offered to build anticipation for the full game. The page also includes the developer and publisher credits, Treasure, and especially, respectively, confirming the pedigree behind this critically acclaimed title. This page is an advertisement for the classic mech combat simulator, MechWarrior 2. The ad prominently features key art of a menacing battle mech, setting the tone for intense futuristic warfare. The headline hints at a dramatic return to the battlefield. The text highlights the game's cutting-edge features for the time, specifically mentioning the immersive 3D virtual cockpit and high-resolution graphics created by the renowned Digital Domain. The sound design by Soundelux is also called out for adding to the powerful and realistic atmosphere of the future battlefield. The description emphasizes the game's intense missions and the player's journey to earn honor as a mech warrior by never letting a captured enemy escape. Smaller screenshots at the bottom provide a glimpse of the in-game visuals. The advertisement lists the game's release information, noting its availability on both PlayStation and Sega Saturn consoles in Japan, distributed by Bandai Visual. This was a big deal for console gamers wanting that PC sim experience. This page features a manga segment titled Torte from Heaven. The panels depict a scene focusing on characters returning home. It shows feet walking with sound effects and introduces characters named Ruru Kondo, Sakura, and Macaron, who apparently went out together. The scene transitions to one character unlocking a door, followed by a girl expressing concern about the heat and another's tiredness. The second character, whose face is obscured by hair, reassures them that they are okay. The bottom of the page includes an advertisement for the second volume of the Torte from Heaven manga series, stating it is now on sale to great acclaim. This page features the ongoing manga strip Torte from Heaven. The initial panels depict characters trying something on, met with positive reactions like, "Wow, it suits you," and laughter, along with the line, "Well then, let's try wearing it right away." The scene then transitions to the next day, showing a large building. The story moves into an office environment where the characters are now working. One character, likely Torte with her long blonde hair, is shown in a close-up, looking very happy and surrounded by cheerful icons. The final panels show the characters in the office, including Torte looking on, and another character with short hair wearing a dress. Torte is then shown from the side with a puzzled expression, a question mark appearing above her head, suggesting she's reacting to something unexpected or confusing within the office setting. This page continues the manga strip. In the upper panels, a character wearing a swimsuit with flowers on the skirt is shown, while another character is surprised, exclaiming, "Macaron!" Another speech bubble contains laughter. Ehehe. A black cat is also depicted near the character in the swimsuit. The lower panels show the blonde-haired character from the previous page approaching the swimsuit-clad character, asking, "Oh my, you're cute. What happened?" The swimsuit-clad character replies, "Woof, woof." The final panel shows the swimsuit-clad character looking dejected, stating, "I hate macaron." This page seems to depict a humorous or surprising transformation of one character, likely related to the events of the previous page, perhaps an unexpected outcome of trying something on, or a consequence of being in the office setting. This manga strip depicts a humorous interaction between several characters. The scene opens with a character mocking boys, before showing three figures discussing the needs of tart and puddings. Subsequent panels focus on Pudding and Tart, blonde characters who implore their master to buy them something. Tart is implied to already have many clothes. The final panels show the master reaching out to Tart, who is in a swimsuit. The strip suggests a lighthearted exchange, potentially tied to a previous event involving transformation or swimwear, with Pudding and Tart seeking to acquire more items, likely clothing. The next page continues the manga strip from the previous one, focusing on the characters Tart and Pudding and their interactions with their master. One character, likely Pudding, excitedly mentions they got another item. The scene then shifts to Tart proudly showing off her new swimsuit with a shimmering sound effect. Following this, both Tart and Pudding are seen together, urgently imploring their master to buy them something, specifically mentioning that Tart wants one too, and then Pudding asks the master to buy one for Pudding as well. The strip humorously depicts their eagerness to acquire more items. The next page continues the manga strip, picking up from the characters' requests on the previous page. The panel sequence shows Tart and Pudding appearing dramatically in their new swimsuits, complete with sound effects and excited exclamations of, "Yahoo!" Tart is sporting a polka dot bikini, while Pudding is in a darker one-piece suit. One character is shown expressing mild distress, but another, seen laughing in a close-up, reveals they had anticipated this outcome and already purchased the items for both Tart and Pudding. In another small panel, someone is shown apologizing. The page ends with a close-up on the face of one of the main characters, perhaps reacting to the scene. The next page continues the manga strip, picking up the action in an office setting. One character appears to be counting down, saying, "Ready, set," while another character with dark spiky hair reacts with shock and disbelief, exclaiming, "No way." A third character nearby asks, "What's wrong?" The scene then cuts to exterior shots of a building labeled Proanus. The second panel shows the Proanus building being hit by a large explosion or impact, accompanied by dramatic sound effects. Finally, the page ends with close-up reactions from three characters, including the dark-haired character who looks distressed, suggesting they are reacting to the unexpected destruction of the building resulting from the earlier action. It seems the character's activity in the office led to a dramatic and perhaps comedic outcome. The next page continues the comic strip, showing a scene of characters in a pool reacting with surprise and distress to the rising water. One character remarks, "As expected," while another asks if it's their fault. The bottom left panel shows a character looking concerned about their manuscripts and computer amidst the flooding, exclaiming, "Whoa! The manuscript! What is this water?" and "My computer." The bottom right panel reveals the cause of the chaos. The Famitsu editorial department building is shown being engulfed by a massive wave, with the text, "Famitsu editorial department, annihilation?" overlaying the scene. This page depicts the dramatic, water-based consequences of the events from the previous page, suggesting the characters' actions have caused a flood that has destroyed the editorial offices. The comic is set to continue in the next issue. This page features a dramatic, low-angle shot looking up at imposing skyscrapers against a bright blue sky, giving a sense of scale and perspective. A large banner cuts across the middle with the title, "Japan's Game Industry." A smaller red box on the left adds the subtitle, "As Seen from the World." The text below the banner introduces the feature article, stating that with Final Fantasy V2 and Pokémon becoming global hits, the world is now looking at the Japanese game industry and wondering just how significant it truly is. The article promises a thorough investigation into this question, comparing the industry to others and using various data points and perspectives to reveal the truth about Japan's game industry as seen from a global viewpoint. This page delves into the significant news of the potential merger between Sega and Bandai, exploring how the industry views this development. The main focus is on the impact of this proposed union between a major game company and a major toy company. Various sections discuss the surprising nature of the announcement, the rumors circulating, and different interpretations of why the merger was happening. One section addresses potential misunderstandings about Sega, discussing the sales figures of the Sega Saturn compared to PlayStation, and how some characterize Sega's situation. Another explores the perception that the merger was a sign that both companies were struggling financially, referencing reports from the Nihon Keizai Shimbun newspaper that noted such opinions. The reaction on the stock market is also discussed, alongside investor evaluations, mentioning specific games like Virtua Fighter and Gundam in the context of the company's performance. The article also touches on rumors regarding new pachinko machines, potentially featuring characters like Tamagotchi or Sailor Moon if the merger went through. Finally, it examines misunderstandings about Bandai, specifically regarding their Pipiat Mark internet terminal, and differing reports on its sales performance in various newspapers. Overall, the page captures the mixed reactions, speculation, and financial scrutiny surrounding the major industry news. This page continues the discussion from the previous page, detailing the shocking news that the planned merger between Sega and Bandai has been called off, roughly 4 months after the initial announcement. The article uses metaphors, describing the original merger plan as an engagement, and the cancellation as breaking it off. It explores how the media reacted, often simplifying the companies, calling Sega the Purikura Print Club company, and Bandai the Tamagotchi company, despite their extensive business interests beyond these popular products. The official reason cited for the cancellation was a difference in corporate culture, which the article discusses, noting one report characterized Sega as dry and Bandai as calm or family-like. The magazine expresses frustration with the anthropomorphic way the situation was reported, treating the companies like human beings going through a personal drama, even comparing the cancellation to a family dispute. The page also notes that Bandai's president resigned, following the decision to take responsibility. The underlying sentiment is a critique of the simplistic media narrative surrounding this significant event in the gaming and entertainment industries. The page explores the cultural impact of the Dragon Quest series releases in Japan, highlighting the immense enthusiasm surrounding the games. Dragon Quest II I and IV, in particular, generated unprecedented popularity. The releases were marked by long lines, school truancy, and widespread recognition, even eclipsing the original Dragon Quest INs in popularity. The page includes a pixelated screenshot and in-game dialogue, typical of the era. The article recounts specific incidents like thefts during the Dragon Quest II I launch, and a sibling fight resulting in arson over Dragon Quest IV. These incidents illustrate the intense fervor and the game's significant social impact in late 1980s and early 1990s Japan. Dragon Quest became more than just a game. It was a major cultural event. This page features discussions around the relative popularity of the Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy series in Japan during the late 1990s. It includes photos of crowds seemingly gathered for a game release. The article notes that while Dragon Quest Vs. sold well on the Super Nintendo, its initial reception wasn't as feverish as previous entries in the series, prompting questions about whether the public perception had slightly waned. Despite this, the Dragon Quest series as a whole remained incredibly popular, with total sales figures reaching impressive numbers by the late 90s. However, the page highlights a significant turning point with the release of Final Fantasy Version 2. Previously, Dragon Quest was generally seen as the more popular series, even eclipsing its rival, Final Fantasy, in terms of widespread public interest and media coverage. But Final Fantasy Version 2's announcement and subsequent release on the PlayStation console completely changed the landscape. The move to a new platform generated massive public discussion, and the game itself achieved unprecedented levels of hype and sales, evidenced by over 1 million pre-orders. The article concludes that while Dragon Quest still held a loyal fan base, Final Fantasy V2 managed to capture the broader public's attention and enthusiasm, marking a clear shift in the perceived dominance between the two legendary RPG franchises. The next page shifts gears to tackle the undeniable cultural phenomenon of Tamagotchi that swept Japan in the late 90s. Titled, "Everyone is Crazy About Tamagotchi, What's the Public's Opinion?" The articles explore the widespread obsession and the diverse reactions it generated. Different sections offer perspectives ranging from questioning the depth of the virtual pet experience itself, comparing its hype to previous fads like the Mario boom, and discussing its potential impact on established players like Bandai, Sega, and Nintendo. The piece highlights the intense demand, with a photo of a large crowd, presumably queuing for the device, and features an image of the iconic Tamagotchi unit. It captures the sentiment that while some embraced the trend, others were skeptical about its longevity or significance, with some segments even questioning the motives or understanding of those reporting on the trend. This page dives into the fundamental question: what are game consoles? Do you know about game consoles? It explores various aspects of the industry and technology from a mid-90s perspective, referencing past news articles to provide context. One section questions the hidden capabilities of consoles, while another discusses Sega's position in the market, touching on the release of the Saturn and referencing the Mega Drive, known as Genesis in the US, asking if Sega is truly the true flower of a previous era. The page also delves into comparisons, asking if game consoles and video players were ever considered the same, referencing a past debate about recording methods, and showing a picture of a PlayStation console. Graphical technology is discussed, contrasting different dimensions of imagery, likely referring to 2D sprites versus 3D polygons, and mentioning the distinct visual style of the Virtual Boy. The intense competition of the era is highlighted, mentioning price drops for next-generation consoles like PlayStation and Saturn. Finally, it touches on the technical side, questioning the relationship between memory capacity and CPU power, using the Super Famicom, Super Nintendo as an example. Overall, the page reflects on the complexities and evolving nature of game consoles in the 90s, suggesting that there's more to understand than meets the eye. The next page presents a fascinating collection of real-world news stories related to video games, sourced from various newspapers over several years. Titled, "Found in the Newspaper." Interesting headlines and articles. It highlights how gaming was permeating everyday life and appearing in the news for a variety of reasons. One story humorously recounts a section chief suddenly becoming known as a Famicom master, while another delves into the more serious issue of game software circulating that depicts sexual acts. We also see articles discussing the psychological impact of games, like how puzzle titles such as Tetris and Puyo Puyo were seen as stress relievers, complete with illustrations of the iconic blocks and characters. History news is also featured, referencing Nintendo distributing software developed by other companies. But the page isn't all positive, touching upon concerning events like junior high students being involved in the mass theft of over 1,000 game items, and a disturbing incident where a father of a 2-year-old was attacked with a stun gun, reportedly because his game was interrupted. These snippets, spanning from the late 80s to the mid-90s, offer a glimpse into the diverse ways video games were viewed and reported on in society during that era, reflecting everything from casual interest and therapeutic use to legal issues and even violence. This page continues the collection of fascinating newspaper clippings related to video games from various years. One article highlights the return of the classic arcade game, Space Invaders, to home consoles, focusing on the iconic Pico Pico sound effect. Another piece discusses the popularity of horror sound novels, like those by Chunsoft, noting how immersive and scary they are. We also see articles touching on the cultural impact of games, such as the rise of game-themed costumes and merchandise. On the business side, there's a report reflecting on Nintendo 64 sales expectations compared to reality. More unusual stories include the experience of playing TV games on the road, and a peculiar crime incident involving game software being left somewhere, leading to trouble. The darker side of gaming's presence in the news is also featured, with a report on a group of boys confessing to multiple thefts described in a different language, likely referring to gaming slang, and a news story about a truck loaded with video games being robbed in the UK. These articles, each accompanied by a simple illustration, offer a compelling snapshot of how video games were appearing in everyday news headlines, ranging from lighthearted observations to serious criminal events. This page delves into the position of the game industry, specifically focusing on hardware sales. It provides a fascinating comparison, charting the cumulative sales figures of major game consoles like PlayStation, Saturn, Nintendo 64, Game Boy, and Super Famicom, against top-selling products from other sectors, such as the Toyota Corolla, Sony Walkman, NTT Docomo subscriptions, Super Cub motorcycles, Wow Wow decoders, and Purakura photo booths. The article highlights the impressive sales numbers of game hardware, showcasing how they stack up against these other ubiquitous consumer goods. It notes specific figures, like the millions of units sold for the PlayStation and Saturn, placing them alongside the massive markets for cars and mobile phones, while perhaps being more directly comparable in volume to items like the Walkman or Super Cub. Furthermore, the page includes an interesting section comparing the production scale of a landmark title, Final Fantasy V2, with a major film, Princess Mononoke. This comparison reveals the significant investment in time, staff, and budget required for top-tier game development, illustrating that game production was reaching the complexity and scale of major film projects. The concluding thoughts likely summarize the overall standing of the game industry's hardware market within the broader consumer landscape, positioning it as a major player, albeit perhaps not yet reaching the sheer volume of items like automobiles or telecommunication services. This page switches focus to the software side of the industry, presenting a look at what was selling well both within gaming and compared to other forms of media. It features a top 10 best-selling game software list from early 1996 to mid-1997, highlighting massive hits like Final Fantasy V2, Pokémon, and Resident Evil, which had sold millions of copies. A prominent bar chart visually compares the sales of top game software, such as Final Fantasy V2 and Derby Stallion, against major hits from other industries, including best-selling music albums like Can You Celebrate and Mr. Children's Bolero, popular movies like Independence Day and Princess Mononoke, and even mega-popular manga like Shonen Jump. This comparison aims to put game software sales into perspective, alongside other cultural phenomena. The page also touches on other incredibly popular items outside of traditional media, such as the Tamagotchi virtual pet. Furthermore, it includes a comparison of the sheer number of video game magazines versus car magazines available, suggesting the scale and variety within the gaming media market. The overall message appears to be that while game hardware is a major force, the software hits are competing admirably with chart toppers across music, film, and publishing. This page takes a deeper look at the business side of the game industry, comparing game makers and publishers against other major Japanese companies using various metrics. An illustration depicts a classic showdown between a stern businessman and a more relaxed figure, perhaps representing the clash of corporate cultures. The analysis begins by comparing overall sales figures, highlighting how major game companies like Nintendo, Sony Computer Entertainment, Sega, Namco, Konami, Square, and ASC2 stack up against large corporations from different sectors. It also looks at employee numbers and the average age of staff across these companies, providing insight into the workforce structure. Another interesting comparison is the sales generated per employee within the game industry, suggesting a measure of productivity or efficiency for companies like Nintendo, Sony Computer Entertainment, and others. Finally, the page discusses the overall size of the Japanese domestic game market, emphasizing its significant scale and economic impact. The overall tone suggests that despite being a creative industry, the game business is a serious and profitable endeavor, holding its own against established sectors. This analysis of the Japanese game industry compares it to other major Japanese corporations. It highlights the industry's lower land footprint compared to manufacturing or entertainment giants, reflecting its software-focused nature. Comparisons of stock prices and starting salaries place game companies like Nintendo and Sony alongside established firms, illustrating their market valuation and ability to attract talent. The page also explores high earners and estimated incomes within the industry, showing that key figures can achieve salaries comparable to those in traditional high-paying fields. A section details potential benefits, hinting at perks like company cars. The overall conclusion emphasizes the game industry's economic significance, creative dynamism, and potential for substantial earnings. This page presents a playful what-if scenario for the successful game industry, asking what might happen if things had taken a different turn. It features a visual pun on human evolution, suggesting that a wrong step in development could lead to a different kind of existence, illustrated with characters like Phoenix Wright and Solid Snake. The first hypothetical asks, what if game machines were handcrafted by artisans instead of mass-produced? The page suggests this would skyrocket costs, limit availability due to material and skilled worker shortages, and elevate game machines to the status of luxury items or fine art. Game machine makers might even be designated living national treasures, slowing down innovation considerably. The second scenario explores, what if Sega and Bandai had merged? Referencing the real-life attempt at a merger, the page humorously speculates on the outcome. It includes an illustration of Sonic, the Hedgehog, and others under a Sega Bandai Sendai banner. The conclusion suggests that such a merger might have led the combined company to heavily promote the city of Sendai, perhaps even relocating their headquarters there, prompting Sendai to actively pursue the opportunity. The page takes a lighthearted look at potential alternate histories for the industry. This page explores alternate game history scenarios. The first asks, what if there were no content restrictions? It suggests this could lead to extremely graphic games and potentially impact the types of games developed and where people would play them. The next scenario ponders, what if the Famicom, NES, Player 2 controller lacked a microphone? It suggests the absence of voice input would have altered early gameplay and console design. Finally, the page considers, what if Mario's name was Kiyoshi? It suggests the iconic name Mario may have been crucial to his global success, potentially changing even his brother's name and impacting their worldwide appeal. This page continues the speculative exploration of how small changes could significantly affect gaming history. The text explores alternate realities in gaming. One scenario posits a world where game consoles require fisheyes, leading to overfishing, scarcity, and a black market for fakes, similar to the sneaker craze. Another considers a world without video games, where children are more outdoorsy but potentially disruptive, driving the need for indoor entertainment, ultimately leading to the invention of video games. Finally, it explores the creative possibilities of bizarre what-if questions, like pianos being a popular soy sauce brand, demonstrating how such thought experiments can stimulate imagination and lead to novel ideas and inventions. This page features a discussion centered around the tactical role-playing game, Final Fantasy Tactics. The main subjects are the game's protagonists, Ramza Beoulve and Dalita Hyrule, who are prominently illustrated. The author reflects on their approach to playing games, admitting they often aim for 100% completion, but find themselves challenged by the depth of titles like Final Fantasy Tactics. The text delves into the game's intricate job system and character progression, highlighting the effort required to master different jobs and acquire numerous abilities. Illustrations accompany text bubbles that seem to capture character interactions or thoughts related to the game's mechanics and story. A section is dedicated to the game's hidden elements, such as secret treasures, unexplored areas, hidden characters, and secret items, noting the difficulty of uncovering everything the game has to offer. The author expresses a sense of being overwhelmed by the sheer amount of detailed content and the dedication needed to fully experience the game, pondering whether reaching such high levels of character development is truly necessary to complete the main story. An illustration at the bottom might represent the author lamenting their ability to finish games recently, perhaps due to the complexity of titles like this. This page features a section titled Club Meeting, accompanied by illustrations of various characters and a humorous comment from the editorial staff about not knowing everyone in the large office, even within their own department, after a training trip. Below this, there's a list of intriguing, possibly game-related phrases or concepts. These include titles like Next King, Sennen Ukoku of Love, references potentially linked to games like Disruptor and Mitsumet Night, and more obscure or provocative phrases like Stealing the Pension of the Shabby Air Force Guy, Soup in a Basin, and King Homo and Queen Molester Disappear Nicely. It seems to be a collection of memorable or quirky elements from various games or related media. The bottom half of the page is dedicated to Reader's Great 4-Panel Folklore, showcasing reader-submitted manga strips. 3 comics are presented: Team Member from Tokyo, Wild Bomb from Saitama, and Fairy from Hokkaido. These appear to share humorous or relatable everyday stories or observations in the classic 4-panel format common in Japanese magazines. The page offers a mix of internal staff perspective and reader contributions, highlighting different facets of the gaming community and the magazine's content. This page features a collection of humorous reader submissions playing on words and game titles. The top section is titled Wild Oshuji, showcasing quirky calligraphy. Below it, the Gold Grandma Award highlights an entry combining Sale's Wild Old Woman with a reference to Vampire Savior, Darkstalkers 3, illustrating a humorous take on the game's title. Further down, the Silver Naomi Kawashima Award features the phrase, "I'll steal your husband," linked to Lunchbout, which appears to be an obscure or perhaps fictional title used for wordplay. The main focus of the lower part of the page is the Pearl Award, which this time collected entries with a food theme, although some stray from that. Highlights from the Pearl Award include entries like, "Eat, crepe is superb," referencing Puyo Puyo-san, "Discovered in Puke, Prince and Blood," likely a humorous pun on the Japanese title for King's Field, "Squid-loving successor connected to that girl is number 1," and "Even Sencha, Kamegichi Go," referencing the character Kamegichi, possibly from Gamera 2000. Another section highlights this week's One-Legged, featuring a reference to a train. The page overall is a lighthearted look at reader creativity, blending everyday concepts with gaming references for comedic effect. This page continues the theme of reader engagement and humor. The top right section, titled Work Tekken 3, focuses on Tekken 3, noting its release date as June 23rd and mentioning other titles like Final Fantasy. While titled like a review, it seems to segue into humorous reader submissions or commentary, evidenced by sections like Cabaret Club and Karaoke Open, with cartoon illustrations, suggesting light-hearted content rather than serious game analysis. The bottom part of the page includes a section titled It's a Monologue, appearing to be a personal commentary from a reader. This section references gaming topics, including Sony's Minidisc, MD, Final Fantasy, and PlayStation, touching upon the gaming landscape, and possibly sharing personal thoughts or anecdotes related to these popular systems and titles. The overall impression is a collection of humorous reader submissions and casual commentary, mixed with some advertorial content, continuing the magazine's engagement with its audience beyond formal reviews. This page continues the magazine's engagement with its readers, focusing entirely on reader submissions. Titled The Reader Submission Report, it features a variety of humorous anecdotes and observations sent in by the audience. A prominent column by Nadagi Uesawa includes cartoon illustrations, primarily featuring a character called Caterpillar-kun, in various comedic scenarios, often involving tanks or treadmills, adding a visual gag element. The main body of the page presents short reader comments, some referencing popular games like Final Fantasy and Final Fantasy Tactics, mixed with personal stories and jokes. These submissions touch upon diverse topics, from gaming experiences to daily life observations, maintaining a lighthearted and humorous tone. At the bottom of the page, there are dedicated sections outlining the rules and guidelines for readers who wish to submit content, covering general contributions and specific instructions for submitting 4-panel manga, complete with size specifications. The overall impression is a lively community page showcasing reader creativity and humor alongside structural information for participation. This page is the magazine's letters section, or message board, presented under the title 1000 Gauss. It's filled with reader submissions, sharing humorous stories, personal anecdotes, and thoughts on various topics, including gaming. Readers recount experiences like dealing with in-game challenges, referencing titles such as Final Fantasy Tactics, and mentioning what appears to be a player's struggle with a character or aspect they call Chuck Wilkson. Other letters touch on everyday life, like eating snacks or school experiences, maintaining a lighthearted and conversational tone. A small sidebar details a training trip to Okinawa, where 4 participants hilariously attack a target named Trump using video cameras. The page is anchored by a large, striking illustration featuring 2 intricate figures or robots, one resembling a pirate captain with a miniature ship, adding a unique visual element to the reader communication. The artwork is credited to M. Ibko. This page continues the magazine's lively reader mail section, packed with humorous anecdotes, bizarre questions, and slice-of-life stories from fans. Readers share everything from chaotic experiences that feel like wrestling matches, to dental mishaps and strange questions about the existence of beavers at dams, sparking a humorous back and forth between contributors. One letter specifically calls out Total NBA 97, praising it as the best commercial. Adding visual flair are small comic strips by Wada Radio, featuring quirky characters and brief, often nonsensical conversations. The page also includes a list of comical and imaginative character descriptions, like cutting board master at age 30 or driving while eating a bicycle at 89. Concluding the page is a short, bizarre report on a 70-second event involving a person named Rolling Naizawa shouting, "Play ball!" while wearing a yukata, followed by a chaotic baseball practice that included hitting a bare butt and ending abruptly with a game set. Hada. It's a quick, funny look at what might be internal magazine hijinks. This page is dedicated to the magazine's Reader Presents giveaway, offering readers a chance to win various prizes. The section is split into two categories, game software and game goods, with 3 items offered in each of the 3 rows, totaling 9 distinct prizes. In the game software section, items include the popular snowboarding title Cool Borders 2, the classic space shooter Gradius Gaiden, and the bug-fighting simulation game Ichigeki Sachu, Hoi Hoi-san. Also featured are the Game Boy title Wiz, the Saturn port Pripala Arcade Gears, and the tactical mecha crossover Super Robot Wars F. Each game features a small screenshot or image to give a visual idea of the gameplay or cover art. The Game Goods section offers items related to popular series, such as a Tokimeki Memorial Drama CD Volume 12, a Policenauts Drama CD, Message of the Rainy Sky, and a promotional Armored Core telephone card. These goods provide fans with supplementary content for their favorite franchises. 3 winners are selected for each item. The page also includes sections announcing the winners from a previous issue and provides instructions and the deadline for applying to the current giveaway. This page highlights a campaign focused on the rumored, glowing Game Boy Pocket. It's a time trial campaign where players get a chance to win this elusive handheld. The challenge centers around the Nintendo 64 racing title, MRC, Multi-Racing Championship, developed by Imagent. To enter, players need to achieve their best time on the mountain course in the game's time trial mode. They then need to send a photo of the screen showing their record time to Imagent. The campaign promises to rank participants based on their times, with the top players winning prizes, including the sought-after glowing Game Boy Pocket. The page shows some of the current top times achieved by players. There's also an advertisement section for MRC, Multi-Racing Championship itself, mentioning details like its price and compatibility with the Rumble Pack. Overall, this page is a promotional push for both the game and a special edition of the Game Boy Pocket, through an engaging challenge for racing game fans. This page features the high-speed combat game, Project Gaire, for the PlayStation. It's presented as a full-scale 3D robot action title promising intense battles. The game highlights fast-paced action, where players must react quickly to avoid and counter attacks from up to 6 neuron carriers. Combat options include diverse attack variations, from long-range fire to powerful close-quarters maneuvers like tackles and kicks. Special attacks can be charged up with specific button combinations, capable of turning the tide of battle in a single powerful blow. The page includes 3 small screenshots showcasing the game's mech-on-mech combat. This page features the iconic first-person shooter, GoldenEye 007, for the Nintendo 64. The main visual dominates the page, showcasing Pierce Brosnan as James Bond aiming a pistol, flanked by Isabella Scorupco as Natalia Simonova, and Famke Janssen as Xenia Onatop. Explosions, helicopters, and action sequences from the film are depicted in the background, along with various gameplay screenshots. The text highlights the game's status as a 3D, real-gun action title, emphasizing its immersive atmosphere. It describes the core experience, noting the realistic 3D environments, sophisticated AI, and the diverse and unique missions James Bond undertakes. A significant point is the inclusion of the thrilling 24-player split-screen multiplayer mode, referred to as Showdown, where players engage in intense head-to-head combat in the 3D maps. The page also promotes the Rumble Pack, stating that its support adds a layer of realistic vibration feedback to the action. The game was released on August 23rd for 6,800 yen, excluding tax. This page features the fishing simulation game, Sea Bass Fishing 2, heading to the PlayStation. The main visual is an impressive illustration of a sea bass leaping from the water, emphasizing dynamic action. The text highlights that the game aims for greater realism and fun than its predecessor, presenting itself as an authentic sea fishing simulation. Screenshots below show various aspects of the gameplay, including the environment, a fisherman casting, and user interface elements during the fishing process. The game promises realistic 3D graphics and powerful fight scenes when battling a fish, coupled with excellent controls for a deep lure fishing experience. It was showcased at the Tokyo Game Show '97 autumn, indicating its imminent release or recent promotion at the time. The page also notes that the Sega Saturn version of the game was already available. Developed and published by Victor Interactive Software, the title also features branding from the fishing equipment company, Daiwa, suggesting their expertise contributed to the game's realism. This page showcases a virtual date simulation game starring the popular idol Megumi Okina, titled Summer Fantasy of Love in Miyazaki Seagaya. The game takes place at the luxurious Miyazaki Seagaya Resort. As a date sim, it features a free scenario system allowing players flexibility in planning dates. Choices made during conversations directly impact Megumi's expressions and feelings, which are tracked using parameters, influencing the relationship's progress. The game also includes movie sequences for key moments, and the player's actions ultimately determine which of the multiple endings they will experience. This appears to be a major promotional piece for the game, highlighting the star power of Megumi Okina and the game's interactive dating mechanics. It's indicated as now on sale. This page features Cranky Pro, a PlayStation game focused on Pachislot strategy and simulation. The game stars a cartoon vulture or condor mascot and highlights its role as a complete strategy guide for specific Pachislot machines, namely the Cranky Contest and Cranky Condor models, which are shown in images. It promises to reveal strategies for the Cranky Contest machine and also includes an introduction course for beginners. The page indicates the game is scheduled for release on October 2, 1997, with a price of 5,200 yen, excluding tax, and mentions that it will be exhibited at the Tokyo Game Show '97 autumn. This page showcases Treasure Gear, a new type of real-time RPG for the PlayStation. The main artwork features two young characters, a female with red hair and a male in orange armor, poised for action against a fantasy landscape. The bold slogan declares, "Play limitlessly," inviting players into the game's world. The page highlights that Treasure Gear is currently on sale and is priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax. It also details a first-run bonus, which is a limited original big poster, and an early purchase campaign where players can apply to receive an original keychain. The game is published by Mirasoft. This page promotes the Nintendo 64 title, 64 Dai Sumo, 64 Great Sumo. The main artwork features a colorful, cartoonish sumo stable master or referee character, with other characters behind him, suggesting a focus on personality or story alongside the sport. The large text confirms the game's title and announces its scheduled release for autumn. Screenshots along the bottom provide glimpses of the in-game sumo matches, showcasing the visual style and gameplay. The page identifies Bottom Up as the developer or publisher of the game. This page continues the promotional coverage of the Nintendo 64 title, 64 Dai Sumo. The central image is a striking illustration of two cartoonish sumo wrestlers locked in an intense battle within the ring, both displaying determined and sweaty expressions. Spectators are visible in the background, watching the match with anticipation. A vertical line of Japanese text runs along the leg of the wrestler on the right, translating to, "If pushing doesn't work, lift and throw." This suggests the page might be highlighting specific sumo techniques or strategies featured in the game. The dynamic artwork and the inclusion of a strategic tip reinforce the focus on the action and depth of the sumo simulation promised by the game. Building upon the introduction provided on the previous page, the Nintendo 64 logo is present in the corner, confirming the platform. This page is dedicated to the PlayStation title, The Last Report, a 3D action-adventure game. The dark, atmospheric background depicts a city skyline at night, setting a mysterious tone. A prominent vertical tagline translates to, "Wandering into the darkness of the city, it began with a single phone call," hinting at a narrative driven by intrigue and perhaps a noir-like investigation. Small screenshots on the left provide glimpses into the game's environments. An image of a telephone in the center further emphasizes the tagline's narrative hook. Published by Shui System, the game is advertised as "Coming Soon" for PlayStation, priced at 5,800 yen, excluding tax. This looks like a promising entry into the 3D adventure genre, focusing on atmosphere and story. This page is the cover of the magazine Tech Video Do, a digital video magazine. The striking title is set against a yellow background with a sunburst pattern, announcing itself as the launch issue, releasing on September 12th for 790 yen including tax. A prominent circle highlights that it comes with one kdram. The main tagline emphasizes the magazine's unique approach. Everything with video! Suggesting its content is delivered primarily through video on the included kdram, rather than just text and images. It also boldly states, turn your PC into a VCR. The cover features a breakdown of the content, promising various interviews, special features, and scoops. Noteworthy interviews include voice actors like Ai and Aki Maeda, director Hayao Miyazaki, and others such as Aiko Sato and Nobuyuki Fukumoto. Special features cover anime, prominently featuring Neon Genesis Evangelion. The scoop section highlights upcoming games like Resident Evil 2 and Metal Gear Solid. The page includes images of some of the people featured, including Miyazaki and the Maeda sisters, alongside glimpses of game content. This magazine appears to be exploring the intersection of computing, video technology, anime, and games during this era. This page is the cover of the September issue of ASC2's Tech Saturn magazine, highlighting that it's now on sale for 1,280 yen. The bold tagline encourages readers to play hard this summer vacation and proudly announces itself as a kdram magazine packed with demo versions. The cover showcases various featured games and content included on the disc. This month's highlight is the visual novel Roommate Rio in Summer Vacation. Other demos featured include the horror adventure Kuro no Danshu, the puzzle/strategy compilation Daisyaman 2 and Magical Drop 2i, the baseball game Gekitotsu Koshien, the strategy title Legend of Galactic Heroes Plus, and the 3D action game Fake Down. Arcade shooter fans are treated to a demo of Dodonpachi, while fighting game enthusiasts can check out Battle Arena to Shinden. There's also a demo featuring CG from Virus. Beyond the game demos, the magazine features an essay collection where 14 different individuals share their personal experiences and daily life revolving around the Sega Saturn. Overall, the cover strongly emphasizes the value proposition of the included kdram, with numerous game demos covering a variety of genres, aiming to provide plenty of entertainment for the summer break. This page is from ASC2's monthly Tech PlayStation magazine, prominently highlighting a price reduction while maintaining the same volume of content. The main draw is the included kdram, packed with 8 demo versions of exciting PlayStation games. Among the featured demos is the thrilling snowboarding action of Cool Borders 2, described as a game to blow away the summer heat. Fans of exhilarating 3D shooting can get their adrenaline pumping with the demo for Ghost in the Shell. Racing enthusiasts aren't left out, with the inclusion of NASCAR Racing, a title previously popular on PC. Fighting game players can experience the quick response of Zero Divide 2, The Secret Wish, while Defeat Lightning offers fast-paced 3D fighting races. The demo lineup also features the 3D adventure, The Witch of Salzburg, polygon-based versus action in RoboPit 2, and the thrilling puzzle game Bombin Island. Beyond the demos, the magazine includes a special feature diving deep into the highly anticipated RPG, Saga Frontier. There's also exciting content for fans of stealth action, including the latest footage of Metal Gear Solid and an interview with its director, Hideo Kojima. The page features an image of a snowboarder for Cool Borders 2 and character art for Defeat Lightning, giving a glimpse of the diverse genres covered. This page continues the in-depth feature on Saga Frontier, revealing a major scoop that's certainly exciting for fans. It confirms that a total of 5 members from the IRPO, the Interregional Police Organization, are actually recruitable party members. The article highlights these 5 characters: Doll, Silence, Rabbit, Cotton, and Hughes. The page gives special focus to Hughes, discussing his long-standing presence and popularity since the game's early reveals. It even touches upon the possibility of him acting as a protagonist, particularly in contrast to the character Red. Details are provided on how players can recruit Hughes when playing as main characters other than Red, hinting at specific steps involving gathering information. Screenshots on the page showcase the 5 IRPO members together, suggesting the possibility of forming a full IRPO team. Other screenshots display gameplay scenes, including character status screens, specifically for Hughes, highlighting his strong physical stats, and various locations related to the IRPO members' story arcs or recruitment processes. The content emphasizes that having these characters join makes for a well-balanced and capable team. The next page continues the deep dive into the recruitable IRPO members in Saga Frontier. This section focuses on 4 more key characters: Doll, Rabbit, Silence, and Cotton, following up on the previous discussion about hues and the overall availability of IRPO members. The article presents each character with a brief description, recruitment hint, status screen, and relevant screenshots. Doll is described as adult-like, and is noted with a special warning that she can only be recruited when playing as Red. Rabbit is a cute Type 2 mech found in the Kyoto area, highlighted for its defensive capabilities like missile evasion, ECM, and jammer. Silence is portrayed as quiet and recruitable by characters other than IRPO members, requiring players to gather information and talk to him. Finally, Cotton, previously an IRPO member, joins the party when recruiting both Hughes and Dolls, often triggered by specific event scenes where Hughes gets angry and Doll laughs. The page points out that with Cotton, monsters tend to get stronger, making him a valuable and reliable companion. The screenshots provide glimpses of character status screens, battle scenes featuring Rabbit, the character model for Silence, and event scenes involving Hughes, Dolls, and Cotton, illustrating the specific interactions mentioned for Cotton's recruitment. This page confirms that a substantial part of the IRPO roster is available to join your team under specific conditions, adding significant depth to party customization in Saga Frontier. This page dives deep into the final stages of Final Fantasy Tactics, focusing on the path to the ending in Chapter 4. It provides a crucial guide for players navigating the game's climactic moments and tackling significant side events. The article lays out a sequence of key locations players will visit, starting from Commerce City's Zargitas and leading through areas like Germinus Peak, Poesca's Lake, the multi-tiered Riovanes Castle, Igros Castle, and finally the various sections of St. Moran Temple. Highlighted within these locations are essential side quests and challenging battles. One major point is the event involving the Flower Girl, which is how you recruit Cloudstrife from Final Fantasy V2 into your party. The guide also details difficult encounters, like the bandit battle at Germinas Peak, where you need to be wary of thieves, the ghostly enemies at Poesca's Lake demanding a focus on magic, and the infamous, brutal 3-part battle sequence at Riovanes Castle, featuring assassins and powerful abilities like Ultima. Finally, it touches upon the climactic battle against Zalbag. This page is essential reading for anyone looking to complete Chapter 4 and unlock key characters and powerful gear before the final confrontations. This page continues the in-depth guide for Final Fantasy Tactics, picking up where the previous page left off and focusing on crucial events in Chapter 4, particularly the recruitment of Cloudstrife. It outlines the specific sequence of locations and events players must follow after the initial encounter to bring Cloud into their party. This path involves visiting key areas like the city of Gaug, Goland Coal City, Lasalia Castletown, Zeltenia Castle, and Commerce City Zargitas, triggering specific scenes and battles along the way. Following this precise flowchart is essential to unlocking Cloud as a usable character. Beyond the main story and character recruitment, the page also highlights the daunting Deep Dungeon. This optional area is a significant late-game challenge, described as having 10 floors that require careful navigation and powerful tactics to fully explore. It's a prime location for rare items and challenging encounters that players should definitely seek out. Furthermore, the guide covers the difficult battles within Orban Monastery, detailing specific encounters on the 4th and 5th floors, including tough opponents like a Holy Knight and a powerful vampire in one battle, and a group of formidable characters including a chemist on the 5th floor. These sections provide vital information for players tackling the game's toughest challenges as they approach the climax of Chapter 4. This page features a section dedicated to the horse racing simulation game, Derby Stallion, specifically Volume 2 of a quarterly report, or weekly section, packed with info. The major announcement here is the first official breeding challenge, BC, event will be a race strictly for 4-year-old horses. The designated race for this challenge is the Satsuki Show, also known as the Japanese 2000 Guineas, held at Nakayama Racecourse, over 2,000 meters on turf. The page shows the coveted prizes for the event, including a trophy and a PlayStation memory card, alongside other game-related merchandise. Further sections delve into strategy, offering insights and tactics for tackling the Satsuki show within the game, complete with screenshots showing race action and horse stats. There's also a personal column titled Me and Derby Stallion, featuring Chips Kozo, who discusses their training experiences. A smaller section briefly explains how to fill out the application postcard to enter the BC event. The focus is clearly on competitive play and strategy for this popular simulation title. The next page continues, the Derby Stallion Quarterly Report, focusing on strategy and analysis within the game. One major topic explored is the optimal training approach right before a race, and how transporting the horse affects its condition. The analysis sections break down different training types and their impact, as well as presenting findings on whether transporting a horse before a race has a significant effect on its performance or condition, concluding with advice on what to consider. Another significant section delves into the intricate breeding system, specifically the relationship between a horse's temperament and its Nix compatibility, which is crucial for producing strong offspring. This part examines how a horse's disposition influences the effectiveness of different Nix combinations, providing guidance for players aiming to breed champion horses. The page also features a segment dedicated to reproducing a real-life famous racehorse in the game, focusing on Mihiro Dober. This section details the attempted breeding strategy and the results achieved, offering insights into replicating the characteristics and success of a real horse within the simulation. Throughout the page, screenshots illustrate different game menus, stats, and racing scenes, supporting the detailed strategic analysis presented. This page introduces the Sega Saturn game Hop Step Idol, a unique take on the idol training simulation genre by focusing on raising male idols. While most games of this type traditionally featured female idols, this title breaks the mold, tasking the player with scouting handsome boys and transforming them into superstar idols. As the producer, your role involves discovering potential talent through scouting, forming these young men into groups, and then meticulously training them through various lessons to enhance their abilities. The page showcases the visual style, with a large illustration of a prominent character and portraits of the potential idols you can train. Small screenshots give a glimpse into the gameplay, showing scouting locations, the group formation process, and training scenes. The game's progression is highlighted, detailing the path from scouting raw talent to forming a cohesive idol group ready for lessons and the spotlight. There is also a section promoting an official fan club for interested players. This page continues the introduction to Hop Step Idol, the unique male idol training simulation game for the Sega Saturn. It features a large central illustration showcasing many of the handsome prospective idols the player will guide to stardom. The page provides individual portraits and brief profiles for several of these characters, giving a glimpse into their personalities and backgrounds, reinforcing the idea that the player is selecting and cultivating talent. The prominent text in the center highlights the core premise. Choosing and making these idols shine is entirely up to the player, emphasizing the depth of the producer role. The bottom sections detail key gameplay mechanics. Section 4, titled Mental Care, focuses on the crucial management aspects beyond just training skills. It stresses the importance of monitoring the idol's stress and physical condition, as well as being vigilant about potential scandals, elements vital for maintaining a public image. Screenshots illustrate the interfaces for these management tasks. Section 5, and then, Debut, showcases the different avenues for the idol's careers once they are ready for the spotlight. Screenshots labeled Photo Album, CM, Commercial, Stage, Performance, and Drama demonstrate the diverse media opportunities available, from releasing photo books and starring in commercials, to performing live and acting in television dramas, illustrating the ultimate goals of training and management. Overall, this page provides a detailed look at the characters and the complex management simulation involved in building a successful male idol group in Hop Step Idol. This page introduces Angel Gachi, a digital pet game where you care for angelic beings returning from Angel World to show gratitude to their former owners. It's presented as the next evolution of the popular Tamagotchi concept. The page explains that Angel Gachi come in different evolutionary stages, starting as babies and growing into various teen and adult forms. Caring for them involves managing key meters: hunger, which functions similarly to the original Tamagotchi, stamina, which is linked to playing games, and happiness, which represents their level of gratitude towards you. Keeping these meters healthy is crucial for their growth and well-being. The core loop involves feeding them, playing games, and ensuring they are happy and healthy, guiding them through their life cycle as they express thanks for being raised. There are several different adult Angel Gachis you could potentially raise, adding replay value as you discover new forms. This page highlights the unique features that set Angel Gachi apart from the original Tamagotchi. It explains that Angel Gachi can go out, sometimes leaving the screen temporarily but returning. A significant new mechanic is temptation, where demons might appear, and if the Angel Gachi succumbs, they can temporarily turn into a Devil Gachi, even affecting controls. A key difference noted is that Angel Gachi don't die. Being angels, they return to the angel world after fulfilling their purpose of showing gratitude for being raised. There's also a brief mention of the game's origins, stating that the idea for Angel Gachi was conceived by Bandai early in the Tamagotchi's development, based on the concept of angels. The right side lists various related books available, including an official guide specifically for Angel Gachi, as well as guides for other titles like Samurai Showdown and Saga Frontier. This page is an exciting look at Momotaro Dochuki, the latest entry in the popular board game genre featuring the world of Momotaro. The page highlights the fun events packed into this title, stating that, like the Momotaro Dentetsu series, there are plenty of occurrences, both good and bad. Players will encounter numerous events as they travel across Japan. The main character, reminiscent of Momotaro himself, is featured prominently. The page breaks down some of the types of events and locations players will experience. One section discusses pitfalls, stating that holes and pitfalls are spread across the country, and falling into one warps you to a different location. This can mess with your strategy, potentially costing you money or items, or leading to encounters with beneficial angels or troublesome demons and other foes. Another section showcases specific locations and events. For example, it mentions an event in the town of Udatsuyama, where buying oil can yield a 100% return on investment, potentially earning substantial profits annually. There's also a humorous event titled Farmer's Wrath, where having too much money can sometimes anger the locals, leading to items and property being taken away. Another interesting encounter is What's Attached, showing a screenshot where a small demon is attached to the character. The page notes these encounters can be annoying but are part of the fun. The screenshots effectively illustrate these different events and the game's map-based gameplay. The page also briefly lists the platform, genre, developer, release date, and price. In Momotaro Dochuki, victory hinges on strategic use of Ofuda, powerful cards with over 100 varieties. These cards provide various effects, from beneficial advantages to debilitating attacks. Examples include the Nezumi Kozo of Karuta, which ironically benefits rivals, and the Jiite of Karuta, which protects against pickpocketing. Other of Karuta include the Ohen Rozan, which alters an opponent's movement, and the Nezumi Yashiki, which drains an opponent's money. The Sarutobi Sasuke of Kuda summons a ninja to steal an item, with the risk of failure or a useless item. A related promotion highlights the official Momotaro Dochuki strategy guide, promising comprehensive information on all aspects of the game. The page also lists other available guidebooks for popular games such as Derby Stallion, Resident Evil, Final Fantasy Tactics, and Enemy Zero. This page features an advertisement for ASC2 Comics, highlighting several of their manga titles. The main focus is Desert Punk, Volume 1, priced at 650 yens. The image shows the titular character, a figure in the Kanto Great Desert, wearing a distinctive helmet/gas mask and holding a weapon. The text emphasizes that this is his workplace, where he always completes any job he takes on. Also featured is an ad for The Great Wanderer King, Volume 1, available for 890 yen, with a small illustration of the protagonist. There is also a promotion for an ASC2 Comics summer campaign running from July 1st to September 1st, offering a CD carrying case to applicants who purchase qualifying comics. Below this are lists of other manga titles published by ASC2 Comics that are currently available or releasing soon. This page features an excerpt from Koji Watanabe's well-known 2000 Nen no Game Kids series of virtual science fiction short stories. The piece is titled Great Huntings and is presented alongside an image depicting a herd of animals running across a sun-drenched savanna. The page is primarily text, providing a glimpse into one of these narrative explorations of virtual reality and gaming themes. A note at the bottom promotes the book collection of 2000 Nen no Game Kids, confirming this is content pulled directly from the published work. It's a look into the narrative side of gaming culture, as envisioned through short fiction during this era. This page features a manga strip by Ami Shibata, likely part of the Baku Baku Creator Biography/Chronicles series. The comic humorously depicts Sega CS promotion staff member Shinobu Buzaki, known as Take-chan, in a tough spot, suffering from high fever, abdominal pain, and sunburn from Los Angeles. He is shown desperately trying to endure, worrying about what will happen to Sega Stadium if he collapses, and crying out for divine intervention to save Sega, specifically yelling for help from Sonic the Hedgehog. The characters Knights and potentially Relay from Nights into Dreams also appear, reacting to his dramatic state. It offers a comedic look at the pressures of working at Sega, featuring iconic characters from their lineup. This page continues the humorous manga strip, featuring characters from the previous page, including one resembling Knights from Nights into Dreams, who confidently offers their assistance. The scene transitions to the group arriving at a Chinese herbal medicine restaurant, which the suited character finds unappealing. One character is overly passionate about traditional medicine, while another, in a cat costume, and the woman with glasses, simply express a desire for curry. This causes frustration for the dramatic character, who attempts to link curry to ancient traditions. The segment humorously highlights the clash of expectations and culinary desires. The connection to Sega is reinforced through the characters present, and a direct mention of not underestimating the company. This page continues the manga strip, following the chaotic group as they search for a place to eat. Confusion reigns in the opening panels, with characters questioning why they are there and whether proper research was done, leading to protests and defensive remarks. The dramatic male character expresses anguish, while another woman questions his lack of preparation, revealing a sharp tongue. The slicked-back hair man declares he's tired and wants to go home, prompting a dramatic outcry from the angel in white character. However, his self-proclaimed image is quickly shattered when he is told that printing office colleagues refer to him as the devil on a blank sheet, highlighting a stark contrast between his perceived identity and professional reputation. The group's search for sustenance culminates at a Chinese restaurant, where the dramatic character challenges the chef, but the others, including the cat-costumed character and the assertive woman, express happiness at the prospect of finally eating, concluding the scene with a sense of chaotic relief. This page continues the saga of the group at the Chinese restaurant. Despite the heat, everyone is ready to dig in, with the energetic girl character pushing the food and demanding drinks. The dramatic male character, Takasaki-san, quickly becomes overwhelmed by the alcohol and heat, complaining about his health. The others, including the cat-costume character and the assertive woman, keep the drinks flowing, even suggesting strong Chinese liquor. The girl character jokingly mentions changing a column name in the Sega fan club, specifically the Yusei Sega Stadium feature handled by Takasaki-san, to her Frog Impression Corner, while the cat character suggests keeping Chip's Mega Drive G-Man, Mega Drive Pride. And the night ends with Takasaki-san wanting to be taken home, completely defeated. A summary box reveals the comedic aftermath. Takasaki-san fainted on the train the next day, a true story. Shibata ate things, also true. And Ozawa left the company, a daily occurrence. There's also a notice about the Tokyo Game Show, and Shibata-sensei planning to attend. This page is a fun, chaotic look at the staff's antics. This page details a fantastic reader contribution program, where you can earn metallic gavas by submitting your original ideas and material to the magazine. If your contribution is published, you earn gavas, which can be exchanged for some seriously cool prizes. The prizes up for grabs cover a range of gaming goodies from the era. For 2,000 gavas, you could snag a PlayStation memory card. At 4,000 gavas, you could get a bundle of Game Boy software. Higher points, like 5800 gavas, could get you PlayStation or Sega Saturn software. And 9,800 gavas offered Super Nintendo or Nintendo 64 games. The big-ticket items included consoles themselves, a Nintendo 64 for 16,800 gavas, a PlayStation for 19,800 gavas, and a Sega Saturn for the top tier of 20,000 gavas. There was even a Game Boy Pocket available for 6,800 gavas, letting you pick your color. The process for earning gavas is simple. Think up your own unique material, no copying allowed. Send it into the Famitsu editorial department, see it get published in the magazine, and then collect your shining metallic gavas to trade for those awesome prizes. There's also a section outlining the specific rules for applying for these rewards. It sounds like a great way for readers to get involved and get rewarded with some sweet gear. This page lays out the rewards available through the exciting Famitsu Gavas system. Readers who've earned Gavas points by submitting creative content can trade them in for exclusive Famitsu merchandise. The prize list is varied, starting with smaller items like stickers and notebooks for 12 and 25 Gavas respectively. Mid-tier rewards include items like a pin badge and a mechanical pencil, costing 40 and 45 Gavas. For higher point totals, you can get a keychain for 50 Gavas, what appears to be a calculator or calendar case for 55 gavas, and a telephone card for 60 gavas. The page also provides clear instructions on how to apply for these prizes by mail. At the bottom, the page displays the family gava's currency itself, featuring charming cartoon characters, giving a tangible look at the points readers are working to collect. It's a cool way for the magazine to engage its audience and reward their creativity with unique items, only available through this program. This page serves as a program guide for the Super Famicom Hour satellite broadcasting service, covering the schedule from August 24th to August 30th. It details various programming blocks dedicated to gaming and related content. The schedule lists programs featuring games like Lemmings, Cameltree, and Darius Force, alongside specific segments focused on game data, ranking results, and special gameplay demonstrations. The page highlights several regular features, including the Ranking magazine, which presents the results and ranks from competitive gaming events held on the service, and BS Fennec, an information program focusing on outdoor activities, drawing content from a popular magazine. Another section, BS Goods Press, acts as a catalog showcasing merchandise and items available through the service. The bottom section of the page features striking artwork depicting two distinct characters, a wide-eyed, cat-like figure against a mechanical background, and a regal, cloaked figure with a crown and scepter. These appear to be key art or characters associated with the service or featured programs, adding visual flair to the program listing. This page features a weekly fortune-telling guide for August 25th to August 31st, 97. It provides a daily forecast, rating the luck from great luck to bad luck, and offers brief descriptions of the day's outlook. Crucially for gamers, each daily entry suggests specific types or genres of games that are considered lucky or suitable for the day, ranging from strategic titles and visually rich games to RPGs, puzzle games, fishing games, and even exercise-related games. The page also includes a short, light-hearted personal anecdote about shaving a beard and a multi-panel comic strip titled Good Timing, which depicts a character seemingly attempting to combine game machines or consoles. There's also a small personal congratulatory message included on the side. Overall, the page blends a fun, speculative look at the week's luck, with gaming suggestions and casual, humorous content. This page features a regular column titled Hiroi Oji's Maruten Mail, Hiroi Uzi no Maruten to Sin, hosted by legendary creator Oji Hiroi. The column opens with a discussion in speech bubbles, reflecting on feeling sluggish and seeking inspiration or a theme, perhaps for future work, or the column itself. It touches on feeling groggy and needing energy, humorously mentioning eating eel and rabbit for stamina. The staff section on the left mirrors this lighthearted tone, with various staff members commenting on their current state, like needing stamina or wondering about the column's theme. On the right, a small comic features characters and the phrase, "Don't trust over 30, a common humorous trope from the era. Further down is the Best Postcard Contest, Tenkaichi Ohagaki Taisho, showcasing reader-submitted original artwork. The examples shown are detailed fan art designs, primarily featuring original mecha or character concepts, suggesting a creative and engaged reader base. The page concludes with small announcements, including a call for reader submissions to the postcard contest, seeking unique event experiences. Overall, the page offers a mix of a creator's personal reflections, staff banter, and reader creativity, presented in a casual, magazine-style format. This page kicks off a new, thoroughly researched series from K. Cato's Idiot Research Institute. The theme for this debut entry is, How far is something still something? It humorously applies this question to three diverse topics. First, it explores how coffee-to-milk ratios affect whether a drink is still considered coffee, presenting different levels and the results of this unconventional taste test. Next, it delves into the perception of the Japanese character, A, examining how variations in its appearance impact whether it's still recognized as the same character. Finally, it takes a lighthearted look at the concept of Hamamura-ness, questioning where the essence of someone named Hamamura lies, accompanied by various pictures of individuals with similar looks. On the right side, there's a segment of a recurring comic strip, this one numbered as part 177, featuring characters in a humorous situation possibly related to NHK educational TV, involving borrowing things. Overall, the page presents a blend of absurd research and comic relief, typical of the magazine's quirky style. This page is a large mail-order advertisement from Emerson, promoting their nationwide service and extensive catalog of games and electronics. They boast over 5,000 titles available with the latest pricing, offering next-day delivery via cash-on-delivery. The page highlights several key deals, including deeply discounted Sega Saturn games like Gun-Con, Gekisatsu, Command & Conquer, Sound Edge, Second Impression, and Daytona USACCE. Hardware is also featured, with a Sony PlayStation-compatible monitor and the immersive Sony Glastron head-mounted display prominently displayed with their prices. The bulk of the page is dedicated to a vast list of games available for various consoles, presented with original and sale prices, emphasizing the wide selection offered through their mail-order service. Contact information for Emerson in Famitsu is also provided. This page focuses on discounted game prices and sales information from various shops and services. It prominently features a section highlighting Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn as a special bargain this week, noting its beautiful world and relaxing gameplay, available at the low price of 1,980 yen. There's also a list of other bargain titles available across PlayStation, Saturn, and Super Famicom, featuring games like Magic Carpet, Ridge Racer Revolution, and Virtua Fighter 2. A major part of the page displays the top 10 best-selling used games, dominated by classic Super Famicom RPGs like Dragon Quest Ville, Chrono Trigger, and Romancing Saga 3, alongside popular Mario titles such as Super Mario RPG and Super Mario Kart. The page also includes extensive tables, listing discounted prices for a wide range of games on PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Super Famicom, as well as consoles themselves. Finally, it highlights a service offering games for sale at convenience stores, listing popular titles including Resident Evil, Final Fantasy V2, and Gran Turismo, among many others, available through that channel. This page presents an anticipated game release schedule, detailing upcoming software for major platforms of the era: PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, and a section for others. The chart is organized by month, providing a clear look at the pipeline of new games. For PlayStation, highlights include major titles like Gran Turismo, Tekken 3, Metal Gear Solid, and various versions of Resident Evil, along with Final Fantasy V2 International. Sega Saturn boasts releases such as Grandia, Shining Force 2i, and Virtua Cop 2. The Nintendo 64 section lists highly anticipated games like Zero X, Lylat Wars, Star Fox 64, and GoldenEye 007. The Others section features titles from series like Metal Slug and The King of Fighters, likely for platforms like Neo Geo. The page systematically lists numerous games, showing their planned release dates and prices, giving readers a comprehensive overview of what to look forward to across different consoles in the coming months. It's a standard but essential feature for any gaming magazine, keeping players informed about upcoming releases. This page continues the comprehensive game release schedule from the previous page, offering readers a detailed look at upcoming software across various platforms. It lists titles primarily for PlayStation, Sega Saturn, and other systems like PC Engine CD-ROM Squared and Neo Geo CD, extending the forecast over several months. The page presents a straightforward compilation, showing the planned release dates and prices for numerous games. While it doesn't feature screenshots or detailed reviews, its value lies in providing gamers with a clear timeline of what's expected in the near future, allowing them to anticipate major releases and budget accordingly. It's an essential resource for keeping up with the constant stream of new software in this busy era of gaming. The Sega Saturn section is highlighted, indicating a significant number of releases planned for the console. This page continues the expansive game release schedule, providing a look ahead at titles coming soon for a diverse range of platforms. It covers systems like the Nintendo 64, listing anticipated games such as GoldenEye 007, as well as Super Famicom, Virtual Boy, PC FX, PC Engine CD-ROM Squared, Game Boy, and Neo Geo CD. The layout clearly presents the upcoming release dates and the media type, cartridge or CD-ROM, for each game listed under its respective console section. This is a crucial resource for gamers wanting to know what software is on the horizon across nearly every major system available at the time, giving them a clear picture of the upcoming game market, without diving into reviews or detailed game descriptions. This page delves into the world of super gamers, highlighting individuals renowned for their gaming prowess. It defines them as skilled players who are successful in the gaming world. The article introduces several prominent figures, including arcade veteran and founder of a famous arcade chain, Game Center Arashi, known for his fighting game skills, Another expert in a variety of genres including shooting, racing, and action games. A player skilled in 3D fighting games and shooting games, also known for balancing gaming with other activities like reading and television. And a commentator famous for his extensive knowledge of games, particularly action titles, and his impressive collection of strategy guides. The page also explores where these super gamers make their impact, detailing their participation in videos and television appearances where they showcase gameplay, involvement in gaming events and exhibitions, and their competitive presence in large-scale gaming tournaments. Images on the page show game boxes, scenes from gaming events with large crowds, and individuals playing games on computers, illustrating the environments where these experts operate. It emphasizes that while they are exceptional, they are still regular people who balance gaming with their lives, but their dedication and skill set them apart. This page profiles 4 prominent super gamers and their paths to recognition. Mori Meijin began in 1978, dominating arcade classics before transitioning to the NES and becoming a public figure. Yapparai Jackie, a child prodigy from 1975, overcame personal setbacks to become Shinjuku Jackie, a media personality in the gaming world. Pun Pun Maru found success in fighting games, particularly Virtua Fighter, after working at an arcade. Ikebukuro Raxel, starting in 1995, honed his skills in fighting games, eventually mastering Virtua Fighter and earning the name Ikebukuro Raxel through his character mastery. The article highlights their diverse backgrounds, arcade roots, and dedication to gaming. This page gives us a glimpse into the life of one of the super gamers we previously discussed, Pun Pun Maru. It details a day in the life of a super gamer, using Pun Pun Maru as the prime example to prove that these players are truly distinct individuals. His schedule is far from typical, starting his day late at 10 a.m. with physical training, heading to work at 11 a.m., and then surprisingly leaving the office around 4 p.m., ostensibly for debug verification, which involves hitting the arcade. He continues his gaming pursuits, including playing PC games like Quake at home later, before spending the evening with his girlfriend. The images accompanying each time slot illustrate these activities, from lifting weights and working at a desk, to playing arcade machines and being at home with a PC setup. The page also offers a conclusion on how to become a super gamer. It suggests several paths: being fundamentally dedicated, even if starting out normal; achieving a high level of skill, particularly excelling in games like fighting games and participating in tournaments; potentially getting scouted during major events, or simply having some unexpected opportunity arise. On the right, the page features an advertisement for Sony AV selectors, showcasing models that allow easily connecting and switching between 2 or 3 game consoles to a single display. This page features a couple of interesting things, though primarily it highlights communication technology popular at the time, alongside some cool gaming collectibles. Up top, we see a look at PHS phones, or personal handyphone systems. These were a big deal back then for their relatively fast data communication, and, importantly, their messaging capabilities. It shows different models from companies like DDI Pocket, NTT Personal, and Estelle, detailing how you could send text messages, often referred to as P-mail, or via information dial, and even some basic voice services. It touches on the costs and features of these early mobile devices, which were a key part of how people communicated before widespread mobile internet. Down below, though, is where the real action is for gamers. We're looking at a section dedicated to game character figures, specifically focusing on the incredibly popular Sakura Wars series. The page showcases a lineup of character figures from the different Sakura Wars games. These aren't just standard figures. It points out that they are keychain figures and were available as prizes in UFO Catcher Crane games, which were everywhere in arcades. You can see figures of iconic characters like Sakura Shinguji, Erika Fontaine, and others from the different combat reviews. It's a great snapshot of the collectible scene for a major franchise of the era. There's even a small notice about a giveaway related to these very figures. This page features a variety of interesting items available at the time, blending popular characters with unique gadgets and intriguing books. The top section highlights items like popular Hello Kitty accessories designed to notify you of incoming calls on your mobile phone. There's also a look at some Puma sneakers, a peculiar body support item shaped like a coelacanth, and a small, functional model forklift kit. Moving down, we see an interactive game with a horse racing theme, where players use a button to control the character's movement, and a novelty item called Hira Hira paper that sends paper fluttering into the air. The bottom half is dedicated to introducing several books. This includes The Beak of the Finch, a science book touching upon the inspiration for Darwin's theory of evolution, the work of Tamiya Models, which delves into the world of model making with a focus on Tamiya, the manga series The Moon by George Akiyama, and the surreal humor book Bakadoru by Tenkyu Azuma and Tanaka Katsuki, which originated as a free publication. It offers a diverse selection covering science, hobbies, entertainment, and comedy. This page dives into the world of music and home video releases available at the time. The top section features CD releases, including albums and singles from various Japanese artists. There's Dialogue by Razzmatazz, LK Style 17 from Lazy Knack, and a single from Aqua by Rinko Hashiguchi. Favorite blues single True Gate is also highlighted. Further down are releases from MCAT with Taste of Sweet Love, Yuko Tsuburaya's One and Only, and Ri Haikunai's Washura Rarenai de Irukara, offering a range of pop and ballad sounds suitable for different moods. Moving to the middle section for video. Several movie releases on VHS are presented. This includes The Devil's Own, a thriller starring Harrison Ford and Brad Pitt, and The Borrowers, a fantasy film about tiny people living secretly among humans. The classic Pixar film Toy Story is also featured, alongside the intense crime thriller, The Taking of Pelham 123. Finally, the bottom section showcases releases available on Laserdisc. This features the sci-fi comedy My Stepmother is an Alien and The Crow, City of Angels, the sequel to the gothic action film. The popular Japanese band Globe also has a Laserdisc release titled Globe 4 Doms. And there's a film simply titled Love and Catastrophe. This page features a CM Girls segment focusing on Ayumi Sakurai, highlighting her appearances on shows like Killamesh Night. She's presented as a multi-talented idol who can sing, despite her prominent image. The section mentions her love for video games, specifically the Super Famicom, PlayStation, and Sega Saturn, often playing so much she loses sleep. She expresses her ambition to become an actress who can also sing, and mentions her admiration for Ryo Kamimura. There's also a brief mention of a video release titled Apollon Create, or similar. A sharp liquid digital viewcam is also pictured. The bottom part of the page reviews two films. The first is likely Extreme Measures, starring Hugh Grant and Gene Hackman. It's described as a medical thriller, where a doctor investigates the disappearance of his genius brother, potentially linked to a mysterious and dangerous disease. The second film reviewed is likely One Fine Day, a romantic comedy starring George Clooney and Michelle Pfeiffer. It follows two contrasting professionals, one of whom is mentioned as resembling Clooney's character from the popular TV series Cresser, who are forced together and navigate a chaotic day while developing a connection. This page is dedicated to the action platformer Mischief Makers for the Nintendo 64, developed by Treasure. The top features the game's title and artwork of the main character, Marina Lityears, and Professor Theo, alongside the N64 logo, and some basic game details, like it being an action title with a 64 megabit cartridge and backup feature. The main focus is on revealing hidden techniques, presented as the final installment of a series of articles. 3 hidden techniques are highlighted. The first technique is accessing a sound test mode by holding specific buttons, L, Z, cup, cleft, on the title screen and pressing start. This allows players to enjoy all the game's music and sound effects. The second reveals that Marina's appearance changes depending on the system's year setting. Screenshots show different graphical renditions of Marina, suggesting visual variations based on this in-game setting, posing the question of which look is preferred. The third technique describes a special way for the character Bert, called Renrenko in the Japanese version, to run. By holding the start button and using the control stick up or down while standing or crouching, players can make Bert perform a unique running animation. There is also a small section announcing a poster giveaway by Enix, the Japanese publisher, offering posters to readers who follow instructions on another page. The next page dives deep into the thrilling light gun shooter, Time Crisis, on the PlayStation, specifically highlighting its compatibility with the GunCon controller. This page is packed with useful information and tips for players looking to improve their performance. It covers various aspects of the game, including strategies to achieve faster clear times, conditions for reviving your character during gameplay, and the criteria needed to earn a high overall ranking or score in the story mode. An interesting detail is the mention that the game can also be played using a mouse, offering an alternative control method. The page also includes a section dedicated to tips for the time attack mode, focusing on clearing Area 4, presented as the final part of a guide. Scattered throughout are screenshots showcasing intense moments from the game and an image of the GunCon controller itself. There's even a small note about a giveaway from Namco, adding a bit of extra excitement for readers. The next page features a comprehensive guide for Street Fighter Alpha on the PlayStation, specifically focusing on the path to clearing the challenging Expert mode. It delves into advanced combat techniques essential for mastering the game's intricate systems. The guide breaks down crucial concepts like canceling, explaining how to seamlessly transition from normal attacks into special moves into super combos, and even chaining super combos together. Various screenshots illustrate the precise timing and execution required for these complex maneuvers, showing characters like Ryu and Ken performing the techniques. The text provides insights into the nuances of the input timings and when to perform the cancels for maximum effectiveness, particularly highlighting how these skills are vital for overcoming the game's toughest challenges in Expert mode. This page serves as a valuable resource for players looking to elevate their game beyond basic strategies and truly dominate in Street Fighter Alpha. This page offers a comprehensive guide to tackling the late-game challenges in Final Fantasy V2, focusing on the final boss weapon forms and the Turks. As Volume 27 of the guide, it concludes a 5-part series on boss strategies. It strongly emphasizes the importance of the ribbon accessory in the late game, particularly against bosses like the Turks and weapon, recommending it be equipped on all party members to recover from crippling status ailments. The page features individual breakdown cards for key boss encounters, including Reno, Rude, and Elena of the Turks, as well as the various forms of the final boss: Proud Claude, Yemnez, Heretic Hojo, and Bizarro Sephiroth, referred to as the ultimate being Bizarro Nas. Each card provides a brief overview, mentioning weak points or recommended strategies, such as focusing attacks on specific parts for multi-part bosses, or using certain magic types against others. For instance, it notes Proud Claude's beam cannon damage and recommends Barrier, while highlighting the utility of final attack materia against Gemnez. It also stresses equipping ribbons against bosses like Elena, Heretic Hojo, and Bizarro Sephiroth, who inflict numerous status effects. This page is a vital resource for players looking to overcome Final Fantasy Version 2's toughest late-game hurdles. This page provides a special report on Breath of Fire 2 Eyes, focusing on its new battle system, characters, minigames, and other recent updates. The main highlight is the innovative Learn Skill system. Characters can see or learn skills from enemies during battle by using the dedicated Learn command. If successful, they can then use that skill themselves immediately. The page showcases the command execution and successful learning with screenshots. There are 77 distinct skills that can be learned this way, adding significant strategic depth. Examples of learnable skills demonstrated include Mind's Eye, Meditate, Blinding Light, Goblin Commander, Thunderclap, and Holy Breath. This learning mechanic is presented as a core feature that encourages players to observe enemy abilities carefully. The next page delves deeper into the world of Breath of Fire 2 Eyes, starting with praise for the detailed character designs and animations. It highlights the main protagonists, Ryu, Tipo, and Rei, showcasing their various sprites and poses, emphasizing their distinct actions and magical abilities in combat. A section also points out that the other characters in the game are equally well designed and impressive. The main focus shifts to a new, large-scale feature, the Community Minigame System. This simulation allows players to develop and customize their own town, attracting different types of businesses. The page showcases some of these businesses, including a game corner or casino, a fortune teller who can reveal future events, and a junk shop or antique shop where players can buy and sell rare items. Screenshots illustrate the town building process and the interiors of these shops, demonstrating the depth and variety this new system adds to the game beyond the main quest. The content suggests the reviewer is particularly impressed by the level of detail and the engaging new simulation element. The next page features an interview with developers from Capcom, discussing the development of Breath of Fire 2 Eyes. Specifically, producer Yoshinori Takanaka is highlighted. The interview dives into the challenges and ideas that went into creating the third installment of the series. The developers talk about the evolution of the series, moving to 3D environments with polygonal maps and quarter-view perspectives for exploration, while retaining detailed, larger-size sprites for characters and battles. They discuss the seamless transition between the exploration field and battle screens, a key feature they aimed for to make the experience smoother. Screenshots on the page illustrate these points, showing the detailed character sprites engaged in turn-based combat against enemies, as well as the 3D-rendered overworld and town environments. The conversation also touches upon the battle system, including character movement and animations, and the new skill learning system that allows characters to acquire abilities from enemies, adding depth to character customization and strategy. The developers seem proud of the innovations in graphics, gameplay mechanics, and the overall presentation of the game. This page continues the interview regarding the development of Breath of Fire 2 Eyes, featuring Tatsuya Kitabayashi, responsible for programming and systems, and Makoto Ikehara, who handled scenario writing and direction. They delve further into the game's mechanics, explaining how the decision to use a quarter-view perspective directly influenced the design of the unique learning system, where characters can acquire abilities from enemies. They discuss the challenges of balancing the individuality of each character while making them fun to play. A notable detail mentioned is the inclusion of a fishing minigame. They express a desire to implement support for the vibration controller specifically for this feature. A screenshot confirms the fishing minigame exists, showing a player versus fish battle interface. The page also includes a small sidebar with a little good story, anecdotes related to Breath of Fire 2 Eyes, touching upon unrelated topics like sushi, Twilight, and even the Windows operating system icon, giving a peek into the developers' minds or inspirations. This page features an advertisement for novels by Kazumasa Hirai, prominently displaying aspect novels at the top. The main focus is on the book Goddess of the Earth Tree, Volume 3, Night of Fire, which is shown with its price of 930 yen and release date of August 29th. The page includes a large, striking illustration of a character surrounded by swirling flames, likely from the novel series itself. There's also a section highlighting other popular books by the same author, such as previous volumes of Goddess of the Earth Tree and the Moonlight Sorcerers Group series, listing their prices. An upcoming interview with Real Inugami Akari is teased, and the author's official website is provided. While not a game itself, the visual style and inclusion suggest the magazine covers related media like science fiction and fantasy novels that appeal to a similar audience. This page is dedicated to announcing the results of the Southheiden Mask Design Contest. It features illustrations of the winning mask designs. The best award winner is from Chiba Prefecture, Mr. Miyazawa Takashi, with a detailed, slightly unsettling design. The excellent award goes to two winners, Mr. Tani Hiroshi from Ibaraki Prefecture and Mr. Matsumoto Fumiya from Osaka Prefecture, showcasing different mask styles. There's also a list of honorable mention recipients from various prefectures. A special limited edition figurine of a character from the game by Flim is pictured, noting it's based on the production version. Below the contest results, the page highlights the mask growth system, described as Southheiden's greatest feature. Screenshots show combat where you can acquire masks and a separate screen for exchanging holy stones. The system allows players to obtain masks after battles and enhance their abilities by embedding holy stones. Different types of holy stones affect various stats and abilities, such as attack power, defense, recovery, and other special effects. The combination and arrangement of these stones on the mask determine the character's growth and capabilities, making the masks dynamic rather than just equipment. The page emphasizes that the abilities of the Southheiden change based on this system. There's also a section detailing etc. about holy stones, explaining that there are inner and outer slots on masks for embedding stones, and mentioning different types like attack, defense, recovery, and others, each with various effects. The system is presented as key to customizing your fighter's strength. This page features a humorous column titled Gokuraku Game 1/2 by Abe Kayoko, centered around food and featuring characters that appear to be from Marie no Atelier. The author shares their thoughts on how food depicted in manga and games always looks incredibly tasty, mentioning specific cravings like Professor Heinz's bread with cheese from Marie no Atelier and sliced mammoth meat, noting it makes them quite hungry. The main focus is a short manga strip depicting the characters involved in a chaotic incident. They are shown examining a container of ingredients, only to discover something unpleasant within, strongly implied to be insects based on the dialogue and reactions. This leads to widespread panic among the group, with characters expressing disgust and trying to deal with the situation. The strip concludes with a newspaper snippet reporting that a local meat merchant, who had been missing, was safely found in the mountains, humorously linking the character's ingredient troubles to the merchant's disappearance. A side note on the page also reflects on how delicious the bread and cheese looked in the classic Heidi stories, reinforcing the page's theme of appealing fictional food. This page features the Forbidden Techniques column, diving into game cheats and tips. The first tip is for Last Bronx, showing how to unlock and play as the formidable final boss character, Red Eye. It explains that by meeting specific conditions, potentially related to difficulty settings, and viewing character introductions within the game's menus, you can gain access to this powerful fighter. Screenshots show menu screens, the game logo, character selection, and a group shot of the cast, indicating the steps involved in unlocking the character. The text emphasizes Red Eye's strength, suggesting he's a game changer. The second tip is for Terra Cresta 3D, offering a trick that makes the game significantly easier. It reveals a method to instantly boost your remaining lives up to the maximum of 99 right from the start. The tip shows a screenshot of the game's mode select or configuration screen and provides the exact button sequence ZZXXBB to input on this screen to activate the cheat. A final screenshot confirms the result, showing the life counter at 99, making the game much more manageable. This page continues the Forbidden Techniques column, offering helpful tips for 2 PlayStation games. The first section focuses on Saga Frontier, providing a simple method to quickly earn credits, the game's currency. It outlines steps involving visiting different locations, like OWMI, Nelson, and Kurong, and exploiting the exchange rates between money and credits with NPCs. The trick allows players to accumulate substantial credits easily, circumventing the usual grind. Screenshots illustrate the key locations and exchange processes. The second section details a secret for Thunder Force Versus. This tip reveals 2 ways to gain more continues, referred to as credits in the arcade sense. The first method involves simply leaving the game console powered on for 3 hours, which passively adds 1 continue at a time, up to a maximum of 99. The second, more rewarding trick, is to clear the game on hard difficulty, which unlocks credit-free, granting unlimited continues. Screenshots show the game running, the continue counter increasing, and the final credit-free status. Both tips offer players significant advantages in their respective games, making progression easier or less frustrating. This page continues the Forbidden Techniques feature, showcasing more hidden secrets for classic games. The first game covered is the dating simulation Dokusei 2 on the Sega Saturn, revealing 2 notable tricks. One allows you to see all character portraits as mere silhouettes, achievable by holding down the Z and L buttons from boot until the title screen appears. The second secret changes the background wallpaper. It's hinted that seeing the best ending and then visiting the school art room unlocks this visual customization. Screenshots demonstrate the game's opening, the silhouette effect, the new wallpaper, and the art room location. Moving on, the page details secrets for the fighting game Voltage Fighter Gaokaiser. Here, 2 additional techniques are presented. You can instantly trigger an ending sequence right from the title screen by holding the circle and X buttons while pressing start. Furthermore, a hidden spectator mode is available. To access it, navigate to the mode select screen, highlight 1PVS2P, then hold down L1, L2, R1, R2, and the circle button simultaneously while pressing start. This lets you watch intense battles between computer-controlled fighters, offering a unique perspective, or perhaps tips for strategy. The page includes visuals of the title screen, the immediate ending scene, the mode select screen, and a CPU versus CPU match in action. This Forbidden Techniques feature unveils 3 exploits for the PlayStation game Raiden Kibei Gai Brave. First, a map screen code. Select L1, L2, right, left, up, select L1, down, right. Quadruples experience and mech earned in battles. Second, repeatedly attempting to purchase a bomber with insufficient funds glitches the game, granting unlimited bombers. Finally, holding R1, R2, L1, L2, select, and the directional charge button at energy stands provides infinite weapon energy. These secrets effectively eliminate resource constraints, simplifying gameplay and reducing the need for grinding. This page dives into game secrets and features. On the left, there are 2 Famitsu secret sections. The top one covers Tower of Babel, included in Namco Gallery Volume 3. It reveals a title screen command, up 7 times, down 6, right 5, that changes the title screen's appearance and grants access to content related to the back of the tower. Below that, the secret for the PlayStation title, Kuro no Donshu. The literacy fragment is detailed. By holding the L and R buttons while pressing C on the Press Start title screen, players can unlock a visual mode to revisit previously viewed scenes, though it notes you can only see what you've already unlocked. On the right side, the page features a comic strip titled Or Pokeball by Yoshida Sensha, part of the Forbidden Secrets column. There's also a section asking readers to submit their own game secrets, explaining how to send them in via postcard, and mentioning potential prizes like stickers. This page kicks off with the 18th installment of the video game news section. It mentions some dedication to playing Top Skater and aiming for a high score in a tournament. The writer, Bunbun Maru, boasts about his persistence in playing a game until he could clear it on a single coin, indicating a high level of dedication that week. The main focus is on Solar Assault, described here as a 3D shooting game that evolved from a classic arcade masterpiece, heavily implying its connection to the Gradius series. Screenshots show intense, futuristic space combat. The article highlights that mastering the lever controls, typical of the arcade experience, is crucial for success in this 3D entry. A significant part of the strategy involves choosing from 3 distinct ships before starting: the iconic Vic Viper, Alpina, and Lord British. Each ship is shown with a brief description of its unique weapons and characteristics, suggesting players need to pick the one that best suits their playstyle. Down at the bottom, there's a section asking readers for questions, specifically querying what type of character they usually pick. There's also a small note referencing summer events and name-dropping characters like Guile and others from the Virtua series. This page continues the deep dive into the arcade game Solar Assault, following up on the introduction from the previous page by detailing some of its distinct stages. The article guides players through 4 specific environments. Stage 1, known as the River Styx, which serves as an introductory space combat zone. Stage 2, the Abyssal Forest, featuring unique ancient biological adversaries. Stage 3, titled Curse, where the iconic Moai statues make a prominent appearance. And Stage 4, the Speed Demon stage, emphasizing high-velocity action and fast-paced scrolling. Each stage is accompanied by screenshots illustrating the unique themes and boss encounters, providing a visual preview of the challenges ahead. Beyond the stages, the page highlights the charged shot mechanic, a crucial element for survival. It explains that the 3 available ships, the Vic Viper, Alpina, and Lord British, each boast a unique and powerful charged weapon that requires holding the shot button to activate. These powerful attacks are key to overcoming difficult enemies and bosses. A featured play impression section offers a personal take on the game. The reviewer reflects on how Solar Assault evolves the classic series formula into a compelling 3D shooter. They specifically praise the visual presentation and the sound design, noting how effectively music and sound effects are mixed, especially in the later stages. While acknowledging the game's challenging difficulty, the reviewer expresses a strong sense of accomplishment after clearing it, finding it an engaging and rewarding experience despite the hurdles. This page presents several columns covering arcade gaming news and personal anecdotes. The main feature provides the latest information on 2 arcade titles. One is the vertical scrolling shooter Shinryu, showcased with a screenshot depicting the gameplay. The other game discussed is Yan Yan Paradise 2, likely a puzzle or mahjong title. Further down, a column titled Rumors of a Beautiful Woman on the Street shares an amusing story about encountering a highly skilled female player specializing in Street Fighter, noting her ability to perform complex maneuvers and her interest in other popular series like Lara Croft and Marvel games. Another section, Irredefining People, features a short photo story referencing Neon Genesis Evangelion, with a box labeled Eva, accompanied by text reflecting on different cultural trends among gamers and the impact of seeing Eva. The page also includes various opinion pieces and anecdotal columns discussing experiences in arcades. These cover topics such as arcade etiquette, encountering skilled players, memorable and sometimes challenging gaming moments referred to humorously as trauma, and the social aspects of gaming like reconnecting with friends and finding quality arcade locations. This page dives deep into the King of Fighters 97, focusing on the highly anticipated appearance of Orochi Iori and Awakened Leona. These powerful, uncontrolled versions of the characters, influenced by the Orochi bloodline as seen in the previous game's ending, are featured prominently. The article reveals how players can access and use these special fighters in the game, showcasing them in action through various screenshots. It explains that they can appear when fighting against the computer under certain conditions, and, excitingly, are also available for player use via specific input commands on the character select screen. The page highlights their unique fighting styles and devastating power compared to their standard counterparts. Additionally, it briefly shows some official KOF 97 merchandise, including mugs and phone cards. The bottom banner suggests this is part of a larger feature or section about Stink's Neo Geo titles. This page gives us a great look at Treasure's unique action game, Silhouette Mirage. It highlights the game's blend of comical characters, a grand story, and intense action. The game revolves around the conflict of two attributes, Shy and Sofar, and the main character, Shina Nira Shina, who possesses both. The page acts as a preview, focusing on the recently released demo version. It details what players can expect from the demo, starting with the intriguing opening movie that sets up the core conflict. It then covers a dedicated practice stage where you can master Shina's fundamental actions, including switching between attributes, grappling, and dodging. The demo also lets players explore the game's second stage, set in a mysterious, deserted city, showcasing the atmospheric environments and challenging boss encounters. We also get crucial information on how to obtain the demo version, which involves checking participating Famitsu partner stores. A caution notes that not all partner stores may have it, it won't be found at convenience stores, and there's a limited run of 30,000 copies. The main game itself is announced for release on September 11th. The screenshots effectively illustrate the game's vibrant sprite work and dynamic action. This page previews the romance simulation game Itakut, Your Smiles in My Heart, developed for PlayStation by a team that worked on the classic Tokimeki Memorial series. The article notes, the game features appealing graphics. It also covers the Windows version, released on August 29th, which is presented as content derived from the Tokimeki Bikuribako collection. The game's story sees the protagonist moving to Japan to live with relatives after his parents relocate to America. While attending a new high school, he encounters the game's main heroines, who are twin sisters. The page includes several screenshots showcasing character interactions, the user interface, and various locations like classrooms, a traditional room, and a shop, giving a good sense of the game's setting and atmosphere. This page dives deeper into the world of Itakut, Your Smiles in My Heart, by introducing 5 key characters you'll encounter. The layout presents large character illustrations, smaller portraits, and screenshots showing them in action, along with profile details and personality descriptions. We get a closer look at 3 of them. Aya Kamiju, described as quiet, traditional, and skilled in housework, living with the protagonist's relatives and seeking a masculine partner. There's also Hibiki Aihara, who seems much more lively, enjoying karaoke and sweet treats, with a bright and potentially talented personality, looking for an interesting person to connect with. Finally, Naoto Miyoshi is introduced as both a rival and friend to the protagonist, skilled in fighting and knowledgeable about the city. The introductory text also hints at 2 other heroines, a spirited girl and a prim girl, rounding out the main cast you'll be interacting with in this romance simulation. This page continues exploring the world of Itakut, Your Smiles in My Heart, introducing 2 more key heroines you'll interact with. We meet Shinozaki Yurika, who appears to be a very serious and orderly student, perhaps serving on the disciplinary committee. Her profile suggests she's skilled in academic subjects like English and world history, and she seems somewhat reserved around boys, seeking a mature partner. Next is Iri Risa, a girl described as being in the same year as the protagonist, but with a slightly mischievous side, sometimes skipping class to hang out. She seems to connect well with people older than herself, and enjoys things like shopping and focusing on dieting, which is noted as an unexpected special skill. The page features illustrations and screenshots showing these characters in various scenes from the game. Additionally, there's an announcement regarding Itakut Otoshitate no Diary, which seems to be a related title, perhaps a sequel or expansion. It states that the release has been decided, and they are currently seeking nicknames for a character named Mutsuko. This indicates the game's development is progressing and engaging the potential player base. This page is a special report focusing on the upcoming horror survival game, Resident Evil Director's Cut for PlayStation. The main draw highlighted here is that this re-release of the original Resident Evil includes a highly anticipated demo version of Resident Evil 2. The page features an illustration of Leon S. Kennedy and details the director's cut release information, confirming it comes bundled with the Resident Evil 2 demo. It then dives deep into Resident Evil 2, presenting a large collection of screenshots from the demo, showcasing locations like the Raccoon City Police Department and the fiery city streets. Characters such as Claire Redfield are clearly visible in the screenshots, battling the undead. There's also a story summary for Resident Evil 2, introducing the protagonists Claire Redfield and Leon S. Kennedy, detailing their arrival in Raccoon City months after the mansion incident, ready to face the horrors that have consumed the city. Illustrations of the main characters accompany the text. The page builds anticipation by emphasizing the overwhelming terror and despair that awaits the new heroes. This page continues the deep dive into the Resident Evil 2 demo, bundled with Resident Evil Director's Cut, focusing specifically on Leon S. Kennedy's scenario. The feature highlights that players get to experience the beginning of Leon's story, navigating the horror-stricken Raccoon City. Screenshots showcase the dark, debris-filled streets and the eerie interior of the Raccoon City Police Department, which is a den of dangerous enemies. The page confirms the presence of outdoor stages, expanding beyond the previously shown indoor environments. Enemies like standard zombies, including zombified police officers, are shown lurking, along with the terrifying return of zombie dogs, noted for having scared players in previous demo experiences. The text emphasizes how Resident Evil 2 is powered up in every aspect, including the level of terror, with a significant number of enemies appearing early on. The feature poses the question of whether Raccoon City has been completely wiped out, and ponders Leon's perilous fate as he is forced to push forward just to survive. The next page dives into the world of Tales of Destiny on PlayStation, offering a detailed introduction to its opening story. The feature displays character stats for Stan Aileron, Ruti Katria, and Mary Argent, alongside screenshots showcasing gameplay. These images capture dialogue sequences, Stan in battle wielding his sword Dimlos, and exploration scenes in towns and interiors. The text explains Stan's initial journey, highlighting his encounter with Ruti and the sentient sword Dimlos, which dramatically alters his fate. A dedicated section also provides insight into Stan's background and motivations for his adventure. The page confirms the game is an RPG from Namco. This page continues our exploration of Tales of Destiny, focusing on forming your party and delving into core gameplay mechanics. It first covers meeting important companions. Following his initial adventure, Stan encounters Mary Argent and Ruti Katria, joining forces with them to overcome challenges and form a three-person party. Screenshots show the group navigating dungeons and engaging in combat together. Next, the page sheds light on the true nature of lens, a crucial element in the game's world. It explains that lens are a type of energy source, vital to the ancient civilization and present technology. Screenshots depict interiors where lens or items related to them are found, suggesting their importance for power or crafting. Finally, the feature asks the question, "I'm the legendary Sortian Master?" This section centers on the sentient weapons known as Sortians. It highlights interactions between Stan, Ruti, and the Sortian Dimlos, referred to as Atwhite here. The text explains that Stan can hear Dimlos's voice, a key trait of a Sortian master, while Ruti cannot, emphasizing Stan's unique connection to these powerful weapons. Dialogue screenshots illustrate these pivotal moments. This page features a look at Klonoa, Door to Phantomile, an exciting 3D action game for the PlayStation. The header introduces the game's title with its unique logo and shows a key visual of the main character, Klonoa. It mentions introducing the opening movie, the village of Breezegale, and cute characters from the game. The main section dives into the game, describing it as a thrilling action experience where players control Klonoa through a 3D field. It explains how Klonoa, a young boy from the village of Breezegale in the dream world of Phantomile, embarks on an adventure to uncover the mystery of the Moon Kingdom. The key gameplay mechanic highlighted is the ring, which allows Klonoa to grab enemies and use them to attack or double jump, leading to fast-paced combat and platforming. The page also discusses specific gameplay elements, such as locked doors requiring keys found in the environment, and interactions with other characters like the villagers of Breezegale, who can help Klonoa on his quest. Screenshots scattered throughout show various gameplay areas, enemy types, and character interactions, modes. A prominent section displays a sequence of images from the game's animated opening movie, showcasing its distinct visual style and introducing key characters like Klonoa and Hupao. The page conveys the game's vibrant presentation and engaging action-adventure gameplay. This page continues the look at Klonoa, Door to Phantomile, moving on from the first area to introduce the next destination. The main heading declares, "Let's go to the village of Wood to meet Obaba," indicating the plot progresses to a new location and introduces a key character. The text explains that following the previous events, Klonoa will head to the Tree Village Forelock to meet Obaba. This is where Gadius, a character troubled by the Moon Kingdom, was apparently sent. The section ponders whether Klonoa will successfully meet Obaba. Screenshots show the game's visual style in this new forest environment, including a large mushroom house described as having a cute red roof. The lower part of the page shifts focus to introduce some of the game's diverse enemy characters. The text notes that while enemies can be powerful, they are also presented as kawaii, or cute. Several unique creatures are shown, each with a brief description, such as Moo, the bouncing blob, Jippo, a talking character, and Shururu, a shell-like enemy found on trees. This section highlights the creativity and charm of the enemy designs Klonoa will encounter on his journey. This page features the Grandstream Saga, an action RPG for the PlayStation. The large image at the top left shows a beautiful rendered scene, hinting at the game's visual styles. The text highlights that the impressive animation sequences within the game are produced by Production IG, a studio known for high-quality animation, which suggests the cutscenes will be a major draw. The core gameplay is described as 3D action combat. A significant portion of the page is dedicated to the main character, Ryun's, abilities, titled Main Character Ryun's Sword Skills and Magic. This section showcases various screenshots depicting Ryun using different sword techniques and magical spells in battle, demonstrating the diverse combat options available to the player. Examples include powerful sword strikes and elemental magic attacks. The lower section introduces some of the new enemies Ryun will face. Specifically, two creatures named Jirugo and Baraji are shown and described, adding to the variety of challenges players can expect. Jirugo is shown as a reptilian creature, while Baraji appears to be a humanoid figure with unique armor. These introductions emphasize that players will encounter a range of distinct foes throughout their adventure in the Grandstream Saga. The overall presentation emphasizes the game's high production values, dynamic combat, and interesting world populated by unique characters and creatures. This page walks us through the critical early chapters of the Grandstream Saga, beginning in the Sage's Tomb where the protagonist, Ryun, and his companion Palos embark on their adventure. They find a mysterious bracelet that appears to be key to discovering the powerful scepter. Their journey continues to Alona town, where they encounter the formidable Despath and delve into an underground church, leading to a vision of Arphalenzia, the girl central to the world's fate. The narrative then follows Ryun to the airship Gude, where Arphalenzia is held captive by the Imperial Army. Upon finding her, the scepter activates, revealing its power. The conflict escalates in Vangulhe, featuring battles against the Imperial forces, where Despath's own sister, Rumina, provides unexpected aid to Ryun. The page concludes by hinting at a significant secret discovered upon returning to Alona's church, underscoring the intertwined destinies of these characters and their locations in the quest to save the world. The screenshots highlight the game's distinct visual style and key moments of exploration, story progression, and combat. This page is all about Formula 197. It highlights the game as a massive hit both overseas and in Japan, being the second installment in the series. It emphasizes that the game features appearances by familiar commentators, making it a standout title. The main section describes the game as a realistic simulation of fun racing, packed with the latest data from the 1997 season covering teams, drivers, and circuits. It mentions significant improvements over the previous title, including various race conditions and enhanced commentary. The game's visuals and overall presentation are significantly powered up. Screenshots display the game in action, showing various perspectives during races. There's a section specifically dedicated to View Select, explaining that the game allows players to choose from multiple camera angles, including perspectives not typically seen in racing games, ensuring everyone can find their preferred viewpoint. Another section points out that the game offers different game modes, to keep things exciting and encourages players to aim for the best lap times. Overall, the page presents Formula 197 as a highly anticipated and improved racing simulation with authentic data, enhanced presentation, and customizable views, promising an engaging experience for racing fans. This page delves deeper into the different game modes available in Formula 1 Foot 97, showcasing the variety it offers players. Up top, we have the arcade mode, perfect for newcomers or those just wanting quick, fun races. It simplifies controls, ignores complex settings, and lets you jump right into exciting battles without worrying too much about realistic damage. You can pick your favorite track or team, adjust the difficulty, and even go head-to-head with a friend in split-screen multiplayer. That's where the real fun is. The screenshots here show a more vibrant, almost exaggerated feel, highlighting the arcade nature. Below that is the Grand Prix mode, which is where the simulation aspect shines. This mode puts you in the shoes of a real F1 driver, aiming to become the world champion. It's based on authentic 1997 data, requiring players to manage everything from machine settings and pit stop timing to battling through a full season of 8 races. You'll need to practice, master qualifying to get a good starting grid position, and drive cleanly in the race, as pushing too hard can lead to damage. The screenshots here reflect the realistic presentation of this mode, showing detailed car models, track environments, and race information displays. Overall, F197 is presented as a game that caters to both casual racers looking for quick thrills and dedicated fans seeking a deep, realistic simulation experience, all with the goal of conquering the track and becoming world champion. This page shifts focus to a new simulation title for the PlayStation called Happy Hotel. Described as a hotel management simulation game, the core premise involves rebuilding a dilapidated hotel in Shanghai into a prestigious 5-star establishment. The game puts the player in charge after receiving an email from a deceased relative who previously managed the hotel, tasking them with restoring its former glory. Gameplay involves managing various aspects of the hotel, from facilities and interiors shown in the screenshots to seemingly staff and customer satisfaction, posing the classic simulation dilemma of prioritizing profit versus guest happiness. The page features screenshots showcasing detailed hotel interiors, exteriors, and a rank up screen indicating progression. Adding a unique flavor, the page also includes a section titled Shanghai Scenery Photo Gallery, highlighting that the game incorporates real-world scenery from Shanghai, allowing players to experience the city's landscapes and architecture within the game world. Overall, Happy Hotel is presented as a detailed simulation experience set against the backdrop of a vibrant Chinese city. This page delves further into the management aspects of Happy Hotel. It serves as a guidance manual, detailing key elements players must master to succeed. The page explains that building the hotel involves more than just profit. Success comes from satisfying guests. It breaks down management into core areas. First, players must strategically arrange facilities, considering guest needs and trends to maximize effectiveness. Screenshots show detailed menus for managing various installations. Crucially, the game highlights the importance of employee aptitude. Staff suitability for specific tasks significantly impacts service quality, with visuals contrasting successful, tidy service with poor performance, leading to chaos and upset guests. Players must carefully assign staff based on their strengths. Listening to customer feedback is also emphasized. Guest comments, both positive and negative, are presented as vital clues for identifying shortcomings and deciding on future improvements or expansions. Screenshots display dialogue boxes, showing guest reactions and providing hints. The page also mentions special lucky items that can boost the hotel's evaluation, and notes that making many guests happy is the direct path to increasing the hotel's rating. Other visuals include a lively scene of guests arriving and detailed shots of the hotel's restaurant and front desk areas. Overall, the page paints a picture of a deep management simulation requiring attention to detail in facilities, staffing, and customer service. The next page introduces Neo-Rude 2, the sequel to the popular RPG for PlayStation, highlighting its unique leading system. Unlike typical RPGs where you directly control the hero, in Neo-Rude 2, you guide or lead the protagonist, Till, to interact with the environment and advance the story. This distinctive mechanic promises a fresh approach to exploration and narrative progression. The game's world has dramatically expanded from the first entry, which was primarily set underground. The sequel moves to the surface, featuring a vast world map and new dungeon locations like the Floating Island Shrine, Mixed Tower, and Iron Mountain, which are previewed with screenshots. Key characters are also presented. Till Waylord, the protagonist and young martial artist. Shiel, a mysterious amnesiac girl found in the Floating Island Shrine who serves as the game's heroine. And Ragnarok, a powerful warrior who arrives from the north. The page expresses excitement for the return of this unique RPG series, with its expanded scope and new characters. This page focuses on Nagano Winter Olympics 98, Konami's official game for the 1998 Winter Olympics, coming to PlayStation. Released just before the actual games, it lets players compete in 9 different events, including alpine skiing, snowboard, speed skating, short track, bobsleigh, luge, jump, freestyle, and curling. The game aims to capture the excitement and challenge of these sports. Visuals highlight the speed skating and curling events. For speed skating, we see dynamic shots of racers at the tense start line, navigating corners, and pushing for the finish. The text emphasizes the need for focus and getting into sync with the race flow. The curling section features detailed views of players delivering stones, sweeping the ice, and strategizing shots towards the house, underscoring the critical role of teamwork in this sport. It looks like a comprehensive representation of the key events from the Nagano Games. This page presents previews for several upcoming and recently released games across PlayStation and Sega Saturn, covering a mix of genres from card-based strategy to aerial combat and classic puzzles. On PlayStation, we see Toshinden Card Quest, which takes the characters and world of the popular battle arena Toshinden fighting series and transforms it into a strategic card-based board game. Players collect and utilize over 300 cards to represent character abilities and engage in tactical battles. Also for PlayStation is Koro Q Jet, Rainbow Wings, a fun aerial action game featuring the signature deformed, stylized vehicles of the Koro Q series, this time focusing on airplanes. Players choose from 8 pilots for arcade-style dogfights, complete with communication mode support. For Sega Saturn, there's Kitsu no Igatha World, a simulation game set in the skies. It's described as blending the strategic depth of turn-based simulation with the intensity of real-time elements through a unique system, offering a distinctive take on the genre. Finally, Sega Saturn fans can look forward to the Sega Ages Columns Arcade Collection. This compilation brings together 4 versions of the classic Columns puzzle game, including the arcade original and a story-driven mode, providing plenty of gem-matching action. The page also includes a table of contents style list, hinting at other games covered in the issue, like Banjo-Kazooie and Puyo Puyo Sun. This page features previews for several different games. For the Sega Saturn, there's Pro Yaku Great 997, a baseball simulation released in the spring, notable for its 1997 pennant mode and the inclusion of 35 retired OB players. Moving to the Nintendo 64, we see Augusta Masters 98, a golf title from the series known for its realistic presentation, mimicking TV broadcasts with dynamic camera angles and offering varied shot options. Also for the N64 is the action-adventure platformer Banjo-Kazooie, shown with a tentative title here, highlighting the unique abilities of the bear and bird duo that players must combine to progress. Finally, Puyo Puyo Sun for the N64 brings the popular puzzle series, featuring arcade-style gameplay with chain reactions and the disruptive Sun Puyo blocks, designed to be accessible for newcomers while still challenging for veterans. The lower section, labeled Hyper New Information, features commentary from mascot characters discussing upcoming titles. They mention various games including adventure games like Shin Usama, Monogatari, and Datadyne East, puzzle games, simulation games like Winning Post 2 Final 97, and a dating sim called Koi Koi Shimasho, and the minigame collection Jungle Park, among others for both PlayStation and Sega Saturn. The reviewers express excitement about the variety of software coming out. This page features an editorial information section covering the first half of 1997 and upcoming releases. The top left showcases an illustration by T. Kawasaki. The next issue is set for release on August 29th, priced at 330 yen. The main feature of the upcoming issue is an in-depth analysis of the first half of 1997's game industry, examining trends and hit titles through data over 16 pages. Below that is a lengthy list of the magazine's editorial staff, including editors, designers, photographers, and contributors. The right side of the page presents a release schedule spanning from late August to early September 1997. This schedule details upcoming games for platforms like PlayStation, Sega Saturn, Nintendo 64, and Game Boy. Notable titles listed include Dragon Ball Final Bout for PlayStation, the iconic GoldenEye 007 for Nintendo 64, Cool Borders 2 for PlayStation, Dynasty Warriors, likely Shin Sengoku Musou for PlayStation, and Saga Frontier for PlayStation. The schedule provides release dates for a variety of genres across these platforms. This page features a prominent advertisement promoting the popular strategy RPG series, Langrisser. The top section highlights Langrisser I and II, available on PlayStation. The artwork showcases key characters like Elwyn, Cherie, and Hein, emphasizing the game's updated visuals with new animation and full voice acting. It also mentions special package editions available. The bottom section focuses on Langrisser IV for the Sega Saturn. This part features different main characters, including Ledin, Ursula, and Ricard, promoting it as the latest installment in the series. Like the PlayStation title, it notes that special editions are available. The page effectively markets both games simultaneously across their respective platforms, positioning them as major releases for fans of strategic combat and classic fantasy narratives. This page is an advertisement for the game Front Mission Alternative on PlayStation. The visual shows multiple instances of a Wanzer, a type of mech from the series, each holding shopping bags from common convenience stores like 7-Eleven and Circle K. The main text vertically down the center reads, "Mission is, receive at the convenience store." This highlights the unique distribution method being promoted. The bottom section confirms the title. Front Mission Alternative lists the price as 5,800 yen with an undecided release date, and notes that it is published by Square and will also be available at supermarkets in the Kanto region of Japan. A small image of the game's box art is also present. This page prominently features Super Robot Wars Fine for the Sega Saturn, highlighting its release date of August 29th. The main image showcases an impressive lineup of mechs from the series. The page also details a special offer available through Digicube convenience stores. 9 types of original character cards featuring classic robot matchups like Mazinger Z vs. Big Garuda, and a special history book titled The History of Super Robot Wars, which includes graphics, setting materials, character interviews, and more. This ties into the unique convenience store distribution method seen on the previous page, with Front Mission Alternative. Below this, the page presents the Digicube lineup for both Sega Saturn and PlayStation. Key games shown with box art include Virus, the fighting game Hard Blow, Mega Man X4, Dragon Ball Final Bout, and Sexy Parodius 2. There are also lists detailing other titles available, along with their publishers and prices, covering a range of genres from RPGs like Final Fantasy V2 to action titles and simulation games. The bottom section reinforces the ability to purchase these games at common convenience stores, and provides information on accessing the latest game details through Digicube's various media channels and placing orders. This page is the striking front cover of Famitsu issue number 455, prominently featuring the PlayStation fighting game Dragon Ball Final Bout. A large dynamic illustration of Super Saiyan Goku dominates the cover, accompanied by the headline, "The Fighting Race Awakens," a fitting tagline for the Saiyan hero. The game is promoted as being now on sale for 5,800 yen and is described as a 3D fighting action title. The cover also advertises the Dragon Ball Final Bout Ichiban Butoden Festival 97 Summer, a tournament series where players across Japan could compete for the title of the nation's best player. Additionally, information about the game's official soundtrack CD, scheduled for release on September 12th, is included. This cover highlights a major release of the era, building on the game's presence previously noted in the Digicube lineup.